Hey guys, welcome, and this is going to be a tier list of base set for Faeria. So, I'm going to rank all of these based on individual cards. Of course, different cards do different things in different decks, and there's a whole lot of considerations, but I thought this might be useful to people, maybe especially newer people who need to decide on crafting cards. This can help them make those decisions, but probably experienced players can benefit from this too and make their own speculations as well. These are also, all of these rankings are going to be only judged on the ranked ladder. So not Pandora or AI battles, solo missions, whatever. Just the ranked ladder, and I'm going to be comparing it to the current meta. So the meta includes the other DLCs and stuff as well, but just going to be ranking the base set, and there's a lot of cards here. So we'll try to go quickly through them. Another thing might be unfortunate is that none of these have like the stats or the names of the cards, it's just the images. I downloaded these from Faeria's sort of Google Drive they have of all the artwork, which is free to use, so that's awesome. So yeah, let's get started. I'll try and name each card as I go along as well, just to help you out. Some of them I might forget, but we'll see. So let's get started. I'll try to run through as quickly as possible, but maybe with some of the more powerful cards I'll have a bit more of a discussion of. So Aurora here. Aurora, I definitely am slotting into S right off the bat. By the way, these are my own opinions. I mean, usual disclaimer with like tier list making things. These are my own opinions. If you have your own opinions, I'd love to hear them. Post them down in the comments. But these are just my thoughts. Not necessarily correct or incorrect, but Aurora, I think everyone can agree that is an S tier card. 4 cost to give you a body plus 6/6 stats on some creature. I mean, you can give this to a little toad, giving it +4 stats in that way. You got a body to collect with along the way. A body that can be Aurora's creation as well. It's just so strong. One of the strongest cards in the game. Mystic Beast is very strong. Probably put it at A. Mystic Beast is a 3 cost, 2/5, but then it gains that extra 2 attack and jump if it's summoned on an adjacent well, which can be sometimes hard to trigger, but you can usually get one off, and even at 2/5 stats, it's really solid. So that's definitely A. Lujuan. So, by the way, my tiers here are the usual, like, S, A, B, C, D. And then I've got a meme tier for just unusable cards that are a total complete meme. And Lujuan probably fits here. Or D tier. I mean, I don't know. Probably is okay at D. It does some stuff. Like it generates you pretty good value if you can get it going, but it's pretty terrible altogether. Aurora's creation, definite A. I think S I'm gonna reserve for like super overpowered cards. Aurora's creation is very strong, but it is also an event and you need a creature in order to trigger it. So it does require you have something else. I think that takes its power level down just a touch. But Aurora's creation is very strong, allowing you to copy anything like Aurora. So that's very strong. This is Aurora's Dream, which I think is a complete meme. I don't think it's usable in regular formats. You have to build up to 24 Faeria to use it. I mean, you can pray that a Magnus reduces it down to 0, but I'm not gonna use those considerations as being very viable. This is, I don't actually remember the name of it at the moment. Aurora's Trick, that's it. So this is 4 cost, 5 lakes. Take control of your opponent's creature with 2 attack or less. And I think this is going to be either A or B. I think probably slotting in it to B, because this 5 legs is a lot to build up to, and there's not a lot of other 5 leg cards that you can synergize with. Forbidden Library has been dropped down in power level a lot, so I think it goes here. It's really strong still. I mean, you get to kill an opponent's creature and produce a creature of your own, which is super strong, but I think just the leg cost puts it at B. Humbling Vision is certainly A. Even could be S, but I think it goes here. Humbling Vision is so strong. Halves the attack and life for 3 cost, rounded down. Very efficient card right here. And Frogify, I think, is slightly worse. Frogify is a little more difficult to pull off, so I'm not entirely sure where this one goes. Maybe like A or B. It depends. I think we'll put it at A for now. Transform is very powerful. It does take 4 likes, which is a little bit expensive. 4 cost. Humbling Vision is usually better in a lot of cases, but I think Transform is just really powerful to have. Dreamweaver, probably B. Dreamweaver is pretty strong, but it does cost 7 likes, and again, there's not a whole lot of synergy anymore at 7 likes. It's a pretty solid deck still, if you build a Dreamweaver deck. I mean, this is 7/10 with dash 3. So, and then you set either you or your opponent's life to 10. Paired with like enchant things to get this up to 10 attack as well. You can dash this right to your opponent's face, set them to 10 life, and now you're threatening lethal all in 1 turn. So it's pretty easy to trigger, but 7 likes is pretty tough, so probably B tier. Forbidden Library has dropped down significantly in power level. I think I want to slot it under C, because it still does some stuff. It still gives you, let's see, let me open up the actual cards, Faeria.org. Then we can get a visual. I won't do this for every card, of course, but so here's Forbidden Library. This is Faeria.org, by the way. Really good search engine for Faeria cards. So Forbidden Library is 1 cost, 5 likes, draw a card, gain 1, deal 2 damage to yourself. This used to be draw 2 and gain 2, which was insane. This was such a power card, but since the nerf, I don't think this is as strong. Drawing a card and gaining 1 a turn is pretty good, but then you ping yourself for 2 every turn, which can hurt a lot, especially in blue, especially 5 likes. You don't have a lot of healing in blue. Just Emperor's Command, really. Beiru's pretty strong. Probably A or B. Probably... I think A is okay. I mean, it's really expensive and can be answered so easily with, like, Frogify or Hard Removal or Humbling, but even Humbling sets it to, 4 or 5, which is pretty solid stats still. And this disrupts your opponent's lands. I think that's solid to go there. Egg of Wonders, definite meme tier. This does absolutely nothing. 5 cost, 3 life structure. The first non-legendary creature you draw, it transforms into it. And it doesn't gain any gift effects on that creature, so it's just the raw stats, which is awful. The only usable card with this is Primaval Colossus, and Primaval Colossus sucks. So Mirror Phantasm, definitely an A tier. 7 Faeria to give yourself a 5/5, and then transform something else into a 5/5. You can use this on your little guys, just like with Aurora. You can use this on your opponent's creatures, if you need to, transform them down. Failed Experiment, I think, is really strong. It's 1 cost. Next creature you summon costs 4 less, and then it dies instantly. This is just ramps you 3 Faeria for free, essentially. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. Shifting Tide is really good. I think probably it's a B tier. Shifting Tide. I think Sunken Tower is better, but Shifting Tide is 1 Faeria, choose 1, draw a card, or move a land, which is just pretty solid. I mean, mobility is really important in this game. If you don't need the mobility, maybe you're desperate for cards, you can use the draw card option. Archon's very strong. I'll put that at A. It's a 4/4 for 4 with charge 2, and then when you play 2/7 or higher costs, it gets to be a 6/6, which is insane value. These are really strong. Gabrielian Cistern is the structure that gives you Faeria every turn. This is pretty not so great. Probably C or D. I mean, the problem with it is that I don't know, it's so easy to answer. It costs you 4 and doesn't give you anything immediately on board. Probably put it at D. I don't think it's that strong. It takes 2 turns to get any value back at all, and then in the meantime, you've kind of wasted some Faeria, some turns. I don't know. Maybe we could slot it at C. It could have some use. Gabrielian Enchant is pretty good. I'll put that at a B. Change your a creature's attack to the same as its life and draw a card. That's just very solid right there. Gabrielian Enchantress. I think Gabrielian Enchant is a lot better. Enchantress is difficult. Enchantress is 4 cost and does the same effect as a 2/5 body. I think it's fine to be B. I mean, what it gives is pretty solid. Like, you get that sort of buff effect, and then a 2/5 body that stays down for 4 cost. Yeah, pretty solid. I think definitely Enchant is better, but Enchantress can go there. This is the Gabrielian something. I forget the name, but it spawns a fish, a ruby fish as well. I think this could be B, reasonably. It's pretty solid. It's a 6 cost, 3 lake, and then you spawn a ruby fish, and it's a 5/5 body. Anything that spawns 2 bodies is pretty decent, and you get to spawn the fish anywhere on the map, which is also pretty important. So you could put it on the opposite side if you're fighting your opponent, and then you've got this ruby fish double collecting for you. Gabriel Commander is interesting. Commander's either A or B. It's pretty strong. I mean, yeah, probably A. Probably A. It's a 3 cost 4/2, and then it gains +1/+1 and flying. It also has charge 2. Probably fine under A. This is Wave Crasher. I think that this is honestly a decent card. It's a 6 cost, 5/5, and then at the end of your opponent's turn, you set everyone's Faeria to 3. So it can really generate a lot of Faeria. I mean, you start your turn with 6 Faeria when this is out. Oh, sorry, it's a 6/6 body, not a 5/5. Yeah, so even the stats are really solid for 6 cost. I think this is a pretty decent card. Gabrielle Warden, probably put it at B. Warden's pretty good. It's 7 cost, which is pretty expensive. The protection that you give to a creature probably wants to go on something as soon as you're trading it in. So it can be a little bit situational, because if you pre-protect, then you could get nightmared or frogified once again. Probably B tier there. Prophet of Tides, I think, is B. It's really strong if you draw it early, because you can shift your lands across to claim your Mystic Beast spot, but when you draw it late game, it's garbage. It doesn't do anything at all. It's a 4/2 body for 3, which is awful stats, and really the effect is all that matters, and you can only really use that in the early game. So I think I'll put that under B. Ruby Fish, probably D. I mean, it's a pretty solid collector. I mean, no, it's not. I mean, it's not that solid, but it's got aquatic, so you don't have to build lands to collect with it. But it can be used. Storm Spawn, Storm Spawn's difficult. Storm Spawn requires failed experiment to work, I think. It's to ramp you up some Faeria, but if you just play Storm Spawn as is, you invest 10 Faeria into a 3/3, and then you have to have it die to get any of that Faeria back. I think I'll put it at B. I mean, if it gets frogified, you're very sad, or transformed in any way, you're very sad. But it's kind of like a free 3/3 body, if you can make it work that way. We'll put it under B. Ancient Herald is an A. Really solid. 5/6 for 6, and then the next creature you draw costs 2 less. So essentially, like, you could pretend that it's a 4 cost 5/6, which is insane stats. But you do have to draw another creature with 5 life to make that work. Aurora's Disciple is pretty good. I think I'll put it under B, because it does take a little bit to get going. It's a 3 cost 2/2, so on its own it's really awful. But if you can get some events going, then it's not terrible. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, probably B. It's either B or A, but maybe we'll stick it at B for now. Sturdy Shell is pretty decent. I think that goes to C. It's a 0/5 with aquatic, kind of similar to Ruby Fish, but it has 5 life. So it just survives, can collect for you forever. It does need like enchants or buffs or things to make it threatening. And then your opponent can also just block the collection with double neutrals, since this can only swim on ocean. Tail of the Old Turtle, I think, is also C. This card is 6 cost. You draw 3, and then all of the creatures you draw cost 2 less. So if you draw 3 creatures with this, you essentially drew 3 cards for free. But that does require you to have pretty much an entirely creature-based deck, which can be quite limiting. I mean, there's some decks that this works with a lot. Like, I like this in my Angry deck, but I don't think it's that powerful a card, so we'll put it there. Spring Bouncy is really nice. Probably A, to be honest. It's a 3 cost, 2/2. Next 7 or higher cost that you draw cost 3 less. So essentially this Spring Mochi is free. It's just a free 2/2 that can collect for you. I think that's excellent value. Darkstalker is not the best. I mean, the stats are really powerful, but I think because of the meta, this power level has dropped down a little bit. So Darkstalker gets reduced from its 3 cost down to a 1 cost if you played an event this turn. And it's a 3/2 body. So for 1 cost, a 3/2 body is insane value, but also, like, the 2 life stat isn't that strong in the meta. Soul Drain or Cypher's Wrath deals with it so easily. I think it's easily a C tier. Lore Thief is probably B. It's really good. You usually use this for the draw. But yeah, pretty solid. Triton Diver is probably also B. I think Triton Diver is pretty strong, especially early game. It's a 3 cost 2/2 with aquatic and jump. So similar case to all the aquatic creatures, you don't have to build lands for it. Actually, that's another consideration for the commander. You don't have to build lands for it, so I think I'm happy with that A ranking. But Triton Diver, this guy is pretty solid to start off with, especially. Can jump to the other side. 2/2 body is not the best, but usually it's pretty difficult to deal with early. Ninja Toad's certainly A. I don't think I need to explain that one too much. It's got haste. It's got jump. If you can collect with it, it reduces the cost of it further. Really nice. Triton Sanctuary is pretty terrible. Probably D. Cistern's better than this, I would say. I don't know, actually. These are probably the same power level, to be honest. Let's check let's take a look at Triton Sanctuary. Triton Sanctuary. So this is what Sanctuary does. It's cost 2 initially. Whenever you harvest, it gains +0/+1, and then you can activate it to destroy and gain Faeria to its equal to its life. So you have to collect once with this to gain your value back, and then it just keeps collecting for you. So I guess it's not terrible. I guess, I don't know. These Faeria generation structures are really difficult because they can be punished so hard. I don't know. Let's put these together. Maybe I'll change my mind later. This is Triton Banquet. A lot of people like this card. I think it's okay. It's, I don't know, it's 3 cost, gives +1/+1 and jump to a creature. Probably B or C. I think I'll put it under B. It can do some stuff for you. This guy is a 2 cost, 2/2. That is a Triton Chef. So it gives you a Triton Banquet, which is, I think, the same power level, to be honest. Giving an extra card is really powerful. The 2/2 body's kind of eh. I might put these at C, actually. I don't think they're as strong as... yeah, probably a C. Probably a C. This guy, probably also a C. What's this guy's name? Triton something. Can't remember, but it's the 3/5 with jump, and then whenever you play an event, it gains +2/+0, capping out at 6. This one's really difficult to use, I think. Like some of the other event cards, like Windstorm Charger, are better because it's cheaper, is pretty much it. This guy costs 5, which is really expensive, and whenever it's your opponent's turn, it's just a 3/5. So it only has value when it's your turn, and then you have to play events. It does have jump, which makes it reasonable, but I think that needs to go there. Triton Warrior, certainly A. Very solid. 4/4 with jump for 4. Triton Trainer, probably A as well. The stats it gives is really excellent. It's like a Outland Ranger, 3/2, and then it gives a +1/+1 buff to the next jump creature you summon, but then it's also got jump itself, so that's really nice. Battletoads, definitely A. Possibly S? No. A is probably fine. Really solid. Being able to split your creatures is usually pretty good, unless there's like... I mean, it depends. Like, they're more susceptible to small removal and AoE. AoE is really the big consideration, but they're pretty strong. This is just a frog. I don't think we're going to rank just the frog. We'll put that at the end of the list. Because, yeah, frogs, like, yeah. Anyways. The dinosaur is really solid. I'm going to put this under B. 5 costs, 4/6. For 1 lake, which is really important. Having such a low land cost means you can get it out super early. Really solid card there. Spellwhirl. Spellwhirl's okay. Probably B or C. So the only thing with Spellwhirl is that it's random, which kind of sucks. I mean, it gives you more cards. Actually, I'll probably put it under C. It's not the best. Like, cost 0, you get 2 free cards from it, but they're random, which can just give you junk. Like, it could give you Aurora's Dream and Egg. So, Windfall's pretty good. I think probably A. I mean, there's nothing bad about Windfall besides the high cost, but if your deck is built around it, around high cost things, it's a really excellent card. Actually, yeah, definitely compared with like cost reduction things, is very strong. Apex Predator sucks, but I suppose it's usable. We'll put it under D. It's a little bit better than these things. Ice Rock Behemoth isn't the best. Probably a C. Problem, I don't know. It can be strong if your opponent has no answer, but the problem with it is it costs so much and costs so much land. Blue-red, there's also not a lot of support for blue-red. 3 blue, 3 red, you're very locked into those lands, and it can just simply be frogified, nightmared. It has no mobility attached to it, so it can be easily answered. This is really strong, though, with card generation cards like Seek Shelter, because it has Taunt. So it's really strong from those type of cards, or Crystal Spice, but on its own, it's not the best. Scourge Flame, I think I'll put under B. It's a good card in a burn deck, but it's very expensive. 7 cost, 2/5. Most people expect this card nowadays. Like if you're playing red, yellow, most people are going to expect this and try to play around it. So it can be difficult to get off. If you've got like Flash Wind, mobility, it's okay, but I think it goes under B. Soul Eater probably fits the same category as Scourge. You of course have to build a deck around sack, green-yellow sack, which I am assuming is what you're doing with this card. I'm not going to bother considering this card if it's not in a deck that it's not built around. But Soul Eater is just a massive body with charge 3, which is really solid. Again, it can be hard removaled, but yeah. So like in green-yellow sack, these are like the 3 Soul Eaters are the big threat that your opponent's worried about. If they find answers to all 3, then they are looking very good in the matchup. Twin Soul, probably, honestly, all of these are in the same category. Even Crackthorn, I think all of these fit the same spot. Just, they're really expensive in land cost, but the effects are really excellent. Twin Soul is so good. Generating 2 bodies for you, really powerful. Crackthorn's pretty decent. Same kind of thing. It's really expensive, but it gives you 4 damage swing, a 4 buff swing. Not bad at all. Blue Colossus goes into A. You can get it down to 4 cost minimum. The 4 cost 7/7 is devastating. Primaval Colossus is a meme. It's terrible in all regards. This costs 16 and then 1 less for each special land, minimum of 6. To get to that minimum of 6 cost, you need, what, 10 lands? 10 special lands? That's insane. Absolutely insane. I would never play this card in anything but a meme. Volcanic Colossus is pretty terrible too, but it can be used. Probably D. It's really difficult to get it to use. Hey, Bamster. Primaval Colossus, not completely a meme? You don't think so? I think it is. I mean, it's way too difficult to make work. So let's take a look at the stats. It's a 7/14 for 16. And I don't know. What cost would make this worth it? Like 7 cost? 7 cost kind of puts it on par with Oakfalder. And then you need, what? Franklin runs it in his green deck? I could see it. I don't think it's very strong at all, though. I mean, to be fair, I haven't experimented with it much, but that's where my consideration is at the moment. So this is what we've got so far. There's a lot of cards to go through. But yeah, if you guys have your own opinions, let me know. I'm curious to hear everyone's opinions, to be honest. This is just the base set cards, by the way. The yellow Colossus is really strong, probably on par with the blue. You can only reduce it down to 5, but then it's got dash 3, which is super strong. Azuriah is really strong 2. So I haven't really played around with Azurai much. This one's difficult to rank for me. I'd probably put it in A or B. Probably B, because, I don't know, I don't think it's that useful in most decks. Like in Flyers, it can be used, but it's kind of a niche card. It's good against Swarm, but, you know. Alpanico would put Azurai in S rank. Sorry, Alpanico. I might come back to this later. I'm not sure. I'd probably put it in A or B. S is, I'm kind of reserving for like the most overpowered cards. Which Gabrielian used to be S. Gabrielian for sure used to be S, but I think it's an A still. Ask his opinion on it? Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what Alpanico thinks. Because I haven't played around with Azurai really. Gabrielian, everyone is sad because of the Gabrielian nerf. It only does 2 damage to everything now. But I think it's still A tier. It's so strong. I mean, 10 cost, but you get a 6/6 charge 2 flying, and then 2 damage to everything. That's insane. Orase is not very good. I love Orase, but I'm going to put it at C, because I think it can get some value. Definitely more value than these guys. Just sometimes you can brick with it and like transform your 3-cost something or other into like a 1/1 Royal Judge. So sometimes that happens. By the way, Bamser, what's your opponent on... I mean, what did I say? What is your opinion on Forbidden Library? Because this card I haven't played around with the nerf, but I don't think it's that strong. Hey, Neb! Rubyfish OP. Right, okay, this is another one I was a bit iffy on, but I think Sturdy Shell's better, and I don't know. Rubyfish doesn't feel like it can be used that much. I was debating between C and D. Was joking? No, it's not that terrible, though. I mean, it is, but also, it's okay. I mean, it's a 1-cost collector. It's okay. But we'll probably leave it there. Tethra's really strong. This could even be S. Like, Tethra's such a power swing. 10 cost, +5/+5 stats. The same sort of charge body, 6/6. You can just drop an 11/11 if your opponent is green, and then they cry. I think I'm pretty confident putting that there, to be honest. It's so strong. It's really expensive, which is like one of the downsides, but Water Ellie. I was thinking about this last night. This is S tier to me. Water Ellie is very OP. Mostly because of the green-blue archetype at the moment. Green-blue is so strong, especially with Frog Tosser. So that ramp is always useful in green-blue. Even in mono-blue, you can use this. And like turn 1 with the Explorer card, you get to play Water Ellie plus Explorer plus Lake, and you've already set up a collector with Jump. The jumping body is so strong, 3/3 stats. I think just Water Ellie's insane. Wood Ellie is a little bit worse, but he's still really good. I don't know, probably B. I think Wood Ellie used to be S when it was a 3/4 body, but I think it's not so strong anymore at 2/4. It's kind of useless in some situations. It needs something else. Like it needs buffs, or it needs, I don't know, something else to go along with it. It does have Taunt, which is useful against Rush, but, you know. Fire Ellie is pretty weak, but probably C. It can be used. I mean, 5/2 can be pretty devastating if they don't have an answer, an immediate answer. Air Ellie's good. Not sure about Air Ellie. Probably B. I don't know. Maybe A is fine. Air Ellie is pretty strong. I think that you don't want too many in your deck because these aren't good unless you're ramping with it. And once you've ramped up, once you have all your deserts built, these are kind of useless. But I think that the ramp makes it pretty strong. It's got flying, so you don't need lands. You can just fly it to the other side to collect. The Explorers are interesting. I think the green-blue Explorer is probably A. It's really good, really strong. The other ones are less so. So what's the other green one? Let's search Explorer. Explorer. Yeah, so green-blue is really strong. So the only other green one is, well, okay. What makes it strong is that it's a 4/6, and the life stat's really important. So Savannah Explorer has the same, a 4/6, but I think in yellow-green there's not enough support for this card, which kind of brings its level down a little bit because of that. I don't know, the stat's really solid. I think just the rest of the green-blue cards pair really nicely with this. So probably Explorer's a little bit weaker. And then the other ones are a little bit weaker, but still really good. I mean, Oasis Explorer is solid in tempo. Sandstone Explorer. So probably all of these are at a B, I would say. They're really solid, but we'll put them all here. And like I said, the Sandstone Explorer is same stats as Rainforest, but because of the green-blue archetype, I think that it's a little bit weaker. I don't know. I'm unsure about this one. This could be A. Okay, I've changed my mind. Let's put it here. I think the 4/6 stats are really strong, and it's still in green, so you can give it like extra buffs and stuff. The fairies... The green fairy is really strong. Green fairy definitely goes to A. And I think yellow fairy also is really strong. That'll probably go there. The red one is terrible. I mean, it can be used. Like, if your opponent doesn't have an answer, it's kind of can be answered, get out of hand. I think I'll put that at C. It's a 4/2 when it flips, but it has no mobility. I feel like this should have charge 2, maybe. I'm not sure. But 4/2 in ranged, you have to put it in front of your face, and you've lost a collector because of that. As soon as your opponent answers this, you kind of just wasted a card to not do really much. Probably C. The blue one, I think, is B. It's really good still. Like, it's a 2-cost 3/3 with charge 2 when it flips, which is insane. I don't know. This could be A. I think there's just not as much support for this one as these guys have. Like, yellow is already an event-based deck. Green, like I said, the green fairy is just solid. Also, these ones gain additional effects. Like, this one has taunt, this one has charge 3 instead of charge 2, and the blue fairy just kind of doesn't have anything. So, maybe for that reason, we'll keep it at B. Sunken Tower is really strong. Actually, Sunken Tower might be S. Not sure. Let's slot it here for now. I think this is so strong. Not sure. Why did you put Green Colossus in meme? Because I think this is too expensive to make work. Think of more like a D? Yeah, I mean, this one's difficult. I haven't played around with it enough to make a solid decision, but like 714 stats. Let's compare it with Oakfather, because I feel like Oakfather is a little bit better. But, okay. So if we have a 7-cost Primaval Colossus, that means we have to build 9 lands, 9 special lands. So 9 special lands with Oakfather makes it a 615, which is pretty much the same stats. I'm just comparing it because some people have questioned it now, so I want to take another look at it. But I just don't see it being better than like Oakfather or something. The only thing I could see it being used with is like Magnus, Egg of Wonders, but those are like that's a meme. But yeah, that's kind of my consideration. Oakfather is kind of just better, and Oakfather is awful. I mean, it's not that bad, but we'll see how the rest of the list looks. But yeah, back to Sunken Tower. You get to move, so it has an immediate effect for 2 cost. You can usually collect with it the turn you play it. You can usually collect with it at least twice. You gain its Faeria back, essentially, and you get 3 movement tricks out of it, unless it gets removed. Ground Shaker can happen. Ground Shaker is very sad, and Ground Shaker is definitely going to be up here in S as well. But I think that this is so strong. I'd probably debate between A and S with this one, but I think we'll leave it there for now. Overgrown Tower. I think these Overgrown Tower and Derelict are kind of on the same level. They're not that strong because they cost so much and don't give that much of an immediate effect. Like 3 cost. Yeah, I think these ones... Not sure where to put these. Either B or C. I think B is fine. It's still pretty solid. I think it's... I don't know. Derelict Tower might actually be worse than Overgrown. Yeah, we'll leave them there for now. I think they're okay. Like, value-wise, they're reasonable. Again, if they get ground shakered, that's awful, but... the Charge Tower, definitely an A. Celestial Tower, that's really solid. It's kind of the same thing as Sunken Tower, but it does require that you have lands unless you're in flyers, so it makes it a little bit weaker than Sunken Tower. I guess if you just consider this in a flyers deck, it's pretty strong. This one lets you move your opponent's land too, though, which is really strong. I think that's definitely an A. This guy... Azura Wisp. Let me check the stats on this again. This thing's awful. This thing's god-awful. Whenever you harvest Faeria from an opponent's well, this gains +1/+1. So, immediately when you play this, it's a 4-cost 3/3, which is pretty terrible stats. It doesn't have any sort of other abilities attached to it. It can get out of hand, but I mean, like, the turn you play it, you're probably going to collect once, bring it up to a 4/4, which is solid stats, but you always have to constantly collect from your opponent's well. I guess it's usable, so we'll put it in D. I guess, okay, I don't know. I'm still, like, debating with this one, because if I'm putting D tier cards as the cards that are semi-usable, then this might go there, but yeah, we'll come back to this at the end. Everbloom Wisp. This card's terrible, and I'll show you the stats of this card. Everbloom Wisp. This is even worse than the Azura Wisp. It's 4 cost for a 1/2 body, which is terrible. I mean, like, I don't know. The turn you play it, you can play 1 forest maybe with a forest, and then it's a 2/3, which is still terrible, and then you play a second forest, it's a 3/4, which is still terrible. It just takes so much. It's a Tarim OTK combo piece, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely unusable. This guy is also terrible, but I haven't played around with this one much. Bloodfire Wisp. Let's put it here for now. So we'll take a look at that one as well. Bloodfire. Oh, wait, is it not Bloodfire? Wisp. Yeah, Bloodfire. Bloodfire Wisp. So this is kind of a similar thing to Everbloom. Same stats, same cost. Whenever it sees an enemy die, it gains +2/+1. This is pretty awful too, but I think it's a little bit more usable. Like, killing enemies is a little bit more viable. I don't know. This could probably be a meme as well. Oh, but I put the Azure Wisp here. Interesting. Alright, we'll just keep it there. This guy is... I'm not sure about this guy. What's his name? Wind Wisp. So Wind Wisp... I think Wind Wisp isn't... I don't know. Wind Wisp is probably also D. It's between C and D, because it can get out of hand. I don't know. Probably... Yeah, that's probably fine. 4 cost for a 2 life can get punished so hard. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at D. You can use this with Savior of the Meek, though. That's a really fun deck, and I think that it becomes a little bit more usable. Elderwood Embrace is A. Elderwood Embrace is so strong. It's 3 cost for 2/4 stats. I don't know what much more to say about it. It's just really strong. Tarim is usable. Tarim's also an interesting one. But also it kind of sucks because of the land you have, the Faeria you have to build up to it. Probably C. I mean, you can, if you get an early Tarim, you can just win the game. Like an early Tarim feed, you can just win the game with it. But most of the time, like if you don't draw it early, your opponent can just steamroll you while you're attempting to build up to 15 Faeria. Tyrion Golem's A for sure. Really strong. You have to build up to 5 forests, but a 5/10 is devastating to deal with. And because it only costs you 5, even if it gets like frogified, you're not that sad. You're kind of sad, but if it gets nightmared, you're even trading up 1 Faeria for it. And then typically in a mono green deck that's running 5 forests, you can just drop more big stuff right after the Frogifier or whatever. So Tyrion Golem's incredible for the stat line. Deepwood Stalker. I know this is really strong, but I actually might put this in B. Cause I don't know. Maybe A. I'm not sure about this one. The problem with Deepwood Stalker is that it only does 2 damage. So like you can take out a really tiny body with it, and you kind of make a big swing that way, because it's only 3 cost. So you kill a creature, develop a creature of your own, deal 2 damage. So like stat-wise and the effect it does is really strong, but situationally it sometimes lacks. But I'll probably keep it at A, just because of the effect it does is still pretty strong. Seed Sower is pretty awful. Seed Sower, but it's usable still. What is Seed Sower? It's a 4/6 6 cost, I think. 4/6 6 cost generates you a forest. The problem with this is that it generates it at random. Like, if you could choose where this forest went, I think it would be a lot better. It would actually be pretty decent, possibly, if you could choose it. I think I'm going to slot this into D. Just because of the randomness, it makes it really difficult to trigger. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with that. It's probably C or D, but I think Wood Elemental is just so much better. I guess I can't compare this to other cards. I have to kind of compare them individually. 4/6 stats for 6 cost. Okay. I don't know. Maybe we'll put it at C. It's not that awful, but it's still kind of eh. Tiki Totem is reasonable. I think this is kind of the same level as Overgrown Tower. The first creature that you summon gets +1/+1. Kind of unfortunate thing about this, it costs 3, and then you have to play another creature that exact same turn. So you have to stockpile Faeria a little bit to make this work. And then you get only 1 buff for investing 3 into it. So it works if the game goes on a little bit longer and you can get buffs with it over time. But the weakness to this is that it just... you have to spend 3 Faeria to do nothing by itself. You have to play creatures alongside this. And you have to play creatures every single turn also to get those buffs. It also takes up a land spot, which really sucks. But probably B tier is okay for that one. Wild Growth. This is 1 cost, and then you generate a forest at random. Probably the same. I don't know. It's probably a little bit better than Seed Sower. I guess I could rank these in terms of which one's better on the tier, but I don't know. It is difficult to compare one card to another card sometimes because, I mean, they're played in entirely different decks. But I think Wild Growth is okay. It's 1 cost to give you land ramp. Vine Wall I actually think is reasonable. I think that's B tier. Vine Wall is 1 cost, I think. Or maybe, no, it's 2 cost. 1 cost, yeah. 1 cost, 4 life taunt, which is actually pretty great for stalling. And then Last Words, create a forest at random. This one's just a better Wild Growth. So for that one Faeria investment, you're still going to get that land ramp out of it. And then you were able to taunt with that 4 life. I think it's actually pretty strong. Faeria trees, garbage. I think this is... It is usable, though. I think it's D tier. But it takes... 4 turns? 4 turns to get your 10 Faeria collection off of this. In that 4 turns, it's so easy for your opponent to deal with it. Not so easy, I mean, you can protect it, but 4 turns, and you've spent 1 Faeria, which isn't a huge investment, but you've also spent 1 card, and that is kind of a huge investment. Just tossing away 1 card for no reason. Faeria tree is pretty terrible. This is Gaia's Grace, also pretty terrible. I think it's... How much does it cost? Gaia's Grace, 2 cost, gain 0-3, and 3 life. The 3 life is really difficult to make work because you want to use this life stat kind of in combat, and you might not have been dropped that much life, so that's probably irrelevant. I think this is D, to be honest. It's not really that useful. Only 3 life stat isn't that good. Spirit of Rebirth is excellent, definitely A. Give you random buffs when creatures die. Runan's Guidance is also A. These two are kind of on par, Elderwood and Runan's Guidance. The heal is so nice, and the cheaper buff is also sometimes even better. Elderwood is insane, though. Such a strong card, but so is Runan's Guidance. Runan's Presence, I think I'll put at C. I can see it working. See what I did there? But, no, it's pretty bad, but also you can make it work. It's 4 costs for +6/+6 to a random green creature. So value-wise is pretty good value, but also you just drop this massive random green creature, which could be anything. You could even get a Primaval Colossus off of it. Everbloom Wisp. To be honest, if you got an Everbloom Wisp, it's not the worst, I guess. And no, that's still pretty bad, because you've invested 8 Faeria into it. Yeah, but the randomness sucks. Having just a massive big body sometimes isn't that great. Runan isn't that great either. She used to be okay. She used to be really good, actually. I think. I kind of played Runan when I wasn't that experienced in the game, when she was in with the buff. I'm not sure. Runan can get out of hand if there's no answer to her. But you can just ignore her, and it's really expensive. Like 5 cost for her. Either B or C. Like if you find Transform, it's really easy to deal with. If you leave her alone, she can just hit you in the face for 4 all the time. Early Runin sucks. Early Runin can win you the game sometimes. We'll put this at a high C. How about that? A high C. Or a low B. Something like that. What are the other cards in B? Is Runin on par with these people? I think these are better than Runin. Yeah, we'll put Runin at C. This is Weeping Idol. Weeping Idol's pretty good, actually. I think this is B. Weeping Idol gives you Faeria every time you get damaged. 1 Faeria every time you get damaged. And it costs 0, which is pretty good, I think. Especially with, like, self-harm decks. I think that's pretty solid. Elderwood Hermit sucks. I think it's usable, though. I think it's usable still. It's like the problem with Elderwood Hermit is that your opponent can just full clear the board and then you lose the buff entirely. So Elderwood Hermit is 3 cost 1/1, and then last words, when it dies, you gain +2/+4 on a random friendly creature. So your opponent can just clear off all of your other creatures and then kill this one last, and then you just lose the buff straight up. This guy, Feral Kodama, I think is pretty solid. Probably a B tier. It can't collect Faeria, which is a pretty big problem, but it does have jump, and it's a 5/6 jumper at that. And then it gains you 5 life whenever you hit your opponent in the face. So the racing potential is really big on this. And jump just gives it so much range with that massive body. I think it's pretty good. God Hunter's not that great, but it is usable. I think it's a C tier. How many more do we have? Okay. I won't talk too much. God Hunter's not really used that much in the meta, so I don't think it's worth talking about it too much. Wild Avenger is really good, I think. I think that's an A. If you're running like a self-harm deck, which is where you're going to be running these. So actually that is one consideration with this. You have to run this in a self-harm deck, because as a mono green card, it's kind of not that great. But if you're in a self-harm deck, then you gain ridiculous amount of stats. It is 6 cost, which is a little bit expensive. It might, I don't know. I think it's still A tier material. Can be pretty expensive, but we'll keep it there for now. Bone Collector's really good. It used to be a 1/3. Now it's a 0/3. Probably goes under B because of that. Because it's a 0/3, it can be easily answered. Yeah, I think so. I mean, in a sacrifice deck, you can... if you give this 1 buff, then it's a lot more difficult to deal with, and then you can start building it bigger and bigger out of hand. But we'll put it under B, I think. Runin Shrine is really good. I think B, though, because your opponent can just clear it and then gain the Faeria advantage as well. Usually only run in rush decks, because you can put them all the way back at your orb, and then your opponent can't deal with them. Sagami Warrior, really solid card. Honestly, A, I think. I mean, you don't see this much anymore because just other cards are better, but just looking at it on its own, it's pretty solid. Like a 3 cost, 1 forest, 3/4 with dash. I think that's incredible. With dash 2, actually, as well. So you can play this turn 1 as a collector. 3/4 stats is such a strong stat line for a turn 1 collector. Pretty much can never be answered until mid game. And then the dash is really strong too. This guy is awful. One of these 2 slots, maybe D. What's his name? Soulbound Sagami. Cost 6, is a 3/5 body. And then last words, you give +3/+5 to a random friendly creature. So same thing as Elderwood Hermit, but it costs 6, which is so huge an investment. This might even be a meme. Yeah, I might actually put it here. 6 cost is way too much for a 3/5. And then it just, your opponent finds some sort of answer to negate you from this buff. And it just hurts you so much. Voice of Hunger is not the worst. I think that this is C tier. Because you can, so there's a lot of cards in green, in mono green, like the teleports, Sagami Grovecaller, and Voice of Truth, that are kind of useless bodies, but they have really high life stats. So Voice of Hunger can eat those up, and just, you drop this big Voice of Hunger and you don't really give up much if you're just giving up those Grove Colors and Voice of Truths and things. You're not really giving up much. You could even kill off a creature that's maybe in an awkward position. Replace it with this big guy. That's not too bad. Sagami Grove Color, though, is definitely A. Teleport friendly creature to a forest you control. And the 4 life stats really important because, again, you can use that with Voice, you can use that with Feed. Really strong. Tiki, I don't remember this Tiki's name, but it's one of the Tikis that gives +0/+4. This is really strong. Probably a B. It's probably A or B. We'll put it high A. How about that? I mean high B. So Tiki Totem is 3 cost, give +0/+4 to a creature, which is really solid. Really solid stats for the cost. Summer would put that as an S. The Tiki? I'm debating between A and B. We'll see. My S category is going to be very small because I want to reserve those for really, really strong. Hey, Warrock, why is Soul Eater B? I think with Soul Eater, it takes a... yeah, Soul Eater is a difficult one. It takes a while to get up to. 6 lands in a sacrifice deck, and if your opponent can find an answer to all 3, you just lose. But I guess that's a consideration for most things. But it's not as strong in this current meta, I feel. Like, they can be difficult to deal with. I don't know. Could be an A. Could definitely be an A. I think, so between these guys, these 4 guys, they're pretty similar, I think. I think Crackthorn's the worst out of the 4 of these. Crackthorn's the worst. Probably Twin Soul and Soul Eater are the best. Scourge Flame's a little bit below those. But I think that's probably a reasonable spot for it. This guy, Tiki Chieftain, this guy's not that great. But I mean, it gives taunt. I guess that's reasonable. It's only cost 2, I think. Gives taunt. So it's a... Wait, how much does this cost? Tiki Chieftain. Yeah, it's only 2 cost. You get a 2/2 body. That's pretty solid for the cost, but we'll put that at C. Tiki Healer's probably also a C, but it's very niche. You actually need to utilize this heal in some way. So if you're facing like Bird on the ladder, it can be used. Hey, Nellis, welcome. This Tiki is really good. Actually, I don't know. These Tikis are kind of the same. Maybe they're just B. They're just Bs. B's or A's? I'm not sure. Well, we'll take a look at this whole tier list once I've gone through everything. All right, let's go a little bit faster. Earthcraft sucks. It's a meme. I won't talk about that one too much. Beastmaster is an A. 7 cost Gabriel Warden A. It could be. Warden can be. I mean, it's a 4/6 for 7 plus protection. That's very good value right there. Ancient Boar A. Possibly S. I don't know. We'll put it here. 3 cost 5/6 with dash 2. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Grizzlies probably high B. It's really solid. 5 cost, 1 forest. Really powerful. Tarim, no meme. Tarim's actually usable. Like, it's kind of specific. Like, you have to draw it early, but even if you draw it semi-late, it can be used, sort of. It might be more of a D. What are the stats on Boar? Boar is a 4/5 for 3 cost. It's very strong. Might slot this at S, to be honest. We might take that down later, but I think like it's got so much going for it. It's even got the beast tag, so it can hunt down and stuff. I think I'll probably put it there for now. Aridin is good, but also probably high B. We need like a B.5. So a lot of these cards are kind of in between here. Aridin's good if you draw it early, but S in my opinion, only if it was always 3 cost. Situational, it loses at a point. Yeah, so yeah, the situational itness of this is the only disadvantage, but 5 life is so easy to trigger as long as you build a deck around it. So this one's kind of based on your deck, I suppose. If you have a deck built around 5 life costs, then this is certainly an S. Because I think it's like 5 life is pretty easy to trigger, but yeah, that could bring it down a little bit. This is like a A+ card, I think, or like an S-. Yeah, Aridin to me feels like a B. If you draw it early, it's really overpowered. Like if you draw it near the beginning, but if you draw it like mid or late game, it's kind of useless, or it does a lot less at least. Grove Guardian's an A. Very solid. 5/6 taunt for 5. Possessed Ursus kind of sucks. Is this a C? This is like C or D to me. Because Ursus, I don't know, if you buff it, you can get it really big, but it's also only a 1/6 now, right? Possessed Ursus. Ursus. Yeah, it's only a 1/6. I mean, the stat line's not that bad. It's not that bad. Are there tiers based on being only used in no DLC decks? No, so yeah, I can't remember if I mentioned that or not actually, but I'm ranking these based on the like overall meta, including DLC cards. Does Beast Tag move it from D to C? Oh, actually you're right. It does have Beast Tag. Sure. I was debating between the two. Yeah. Beast Tag, sure. That'll sell me on moving it up. 4 cost is pretty reasonable to play, and you can hunt down it to give it 2 attack, and then it'll damage itself, get the extra buff. Sure, we'll put it at C. Why not? This, I can't remember what this is called, but it's gives +0, +4, and taunt for 2 cost, which is really solid. Probably B. Only works in enchant. Oh, Ursus? I mean, you can use it in, like, Salamander decks, too, I think. And then Hook with the big guy. This is, yeah, pretty solid. We'll put that at a B. This guy, I think, is also B? Maybe. Jump makes it really strong, and the 5 life makes it really strong. Usually only gonna see this in Green Rush, but In Green Rush, I think is pretty solid. Voice of Truth is really good. I mean, this is situational, but I think that this is B or A. Might put it at A just because of the synergy with it. Like, if you have a use for this, like, you wouldn't include this in the deck unless... I mean, you could include this with like a mono green list with high life things, reset the stats, or you could include this if on ladder you're facing things with big stats, and then you can just feed or again use that Voice of Hunger to eat up that 5 life stat. I think it's really strong. Seedling's awful. I guess it's used like it's a bit better than this stuff. By the way, Warrock or anyone new here, what is your opinion on Primaval Colossus? I'm having a hard time placing this one between a meme and semi-usable. I don't think it's that usable, but I'm not sure. I don't play around with it. But yeah, Seedling sucks. I guess if you give it time, it can do stuff, but it's pretty awful. Oak Father, I think, is C. Oak Father, like in a deck built around it, you can get like a really big guy for 7 cost, which again can, like, the usual example can be Frogified, Nightmared, but if they don't have an answer like that, it's really large life stats to chunk through. It's in the proper place. Yeah, I was comparing this earlier to Oak Father, and I just see no purpose to this card at all. Yeah, Green Colossus. Yeah, I think Oak Father's good there. Living Willow's really strong. I'm going to put that as an A. 3 cost 1/7 taunt. Very solid. Bloom Sprite. Okay, Bloom Sprite I've been like so happy with, but I think I'm going to put this at B. It's really, yeah. Yes, it also depends on the deck, because this can be run in like green-yellow sacrifice as well, and then they're not as powerful as like a mono-green. A, at least. Oh, you think A? Alright, I was being like modest here. I'm like, Bloom Sprite's like, yeah, it's okay, but... I mean, so this, when it dies, it gives you a random green card that costs 3 less. Okay. I mean, I'm fine with putting it in A, to be honest. Like, when I've been playing in my green teleport list, it's so strong. Like, so strong. Am I the only one who feels like the green cards are generally better than the other colors? There are a lot of green cards up here. The thing is that, so like, green cards individually are really strong, but in the current meta, I think that there's things like Husk and like the things that go with Husk, like the merchants and the like the burn things, mechas sometimes. I think like the current meta makes green as a whole difficult to use, but individually as cards, green's pretty good. That's another thing to consider about this tier list, is that these are all ranked individually, which can sometimes not represent a deck as its whole. I want a t-shirt wearing with Bloom Sprite picture. Yes. Yeah, fair enough. Bloom Sprite's an A. I'm completely happy with that. So strong. Oakling. I'm not sure about Oakling. Oakling's probably high B as well. Probably like the highest of Bs. Because on its own, it's like, I mean... Maybe we'll slot this at A, actually. This, like the +5/+5. So for 5 cost, if this just straight up dies on its own, it costs 5. It costs 5 for a +5/+5 buff, which is decent. It's not that good, I guess. Yeah, okay. Like with feed, it's amazing, but maybe it's a high B. Feed the Forest, though. Feed the Forest, I think, is S tier. Feed is so strong a card. It does cost 5 forests, but I mean, like, mono green doesn't really care. Like, it wants feed in that list anyways. You think it's bad? Feed? Really? Feed? What does everyone else think? You'd put it way lower, but I know El Panico plays it. Because Feed the Forest it replaces itself. Like if you pair it with anything high life, especially these useless sort of bodies like Voice of Truth, even Sagami Grovecaller, like you get the cost back, you get to replace the card. You mean the 1/5 that has last word? Oh, okay. Oh, you'd put it lower than this? I think I'm happy with a B. Feed is S or A. Yeah, I definitely think Feed is an S. But yeah, fair enough with the Oakling. I think B is fine though. It's only usable in green. The other consideration is that you need like you need a creature in hand. You need a green creature in hand for this to do anything. If there's no creatures in your hand, then it bricks. We'll put it at low B actually, but I think it's still a B. It's still reasonable. Vergerent Force is interesting. I'm not really sure where to place this. Like, I know in the past it has definitely been an A, but nowadays it's kind of lackluster because of the other stuff. But I think, like, individually based, like a 6 cost 7/7 is super strong. So probably keep it there. Like, you're not as sad if it gets nightmared because you just trade 1 for 1. Might be B though, actually. Like, all of these other cards are kind of better than it, right? Interesting that 6 explorers are in different tiers. I think this goes to B. 6 explorers are in different tiers. Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put these two in A because the 4/6 is a lot better, I feel. I'm still not sure about the Sandstone Explorer though. Like the green blue synergizes, well, I don't know about synergizes, but it works really well in the green blue colors because you've got like Sunken Tower for mobility, you've got buffs. That life stat is really important. The 5/5 is really good too though. The Oasis Explorer. I think Taiga Explorer is good too. Red green isn't the best color combination. I guess that was my consideration also, is like the color combinations. Like green yellow probably doesn't run green yellow things, but might come back to those at the end as well. What did I just rank? Oh, the Vergerent Force? Yeah, I think this is B. Like Tyrian Golem's certainly better. This could even be like considered S tier, but I think it stays at an A for now. Three Wish is a meme, so I'll show you guys 3 Wish again. 3 Wish. This used to be like reasonable, but they nerfed it so hard. So you have to build up to 8 lands. The gain 3 life doesn't matter, but copy the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. They cost 1 less and are wild. Like, you spend 3 Faeria to gain 3 cards that cost 1 less each. So like it trades even value, but then you're gaining 3 cards. You're gaining 3 cards that are built to your opponent's deck. They synergize with your opponent's deck, and maybe you get lucky, maybe you get like 2 cards that synergize with one another, but it's really lackluster. You've spent so much time and energy building up to 8 lands, and then you just get like not that much from it. I think Orisay could be lower. I really like Orisay. Like, I think it's honestly not that bad. The like 6/6 in charge is really strong. It does cost 10, which is quite a bit. But honestly, if you just transform like 2 creatures, like 2 small creatures, this gets pretty incredible value. Not incredible value, but it's pretty decent value, I think. I don't think it's a D tier. Like, Orsay is better than all of this stuff. To me, at least. But it's very specific also. The problem with Orsay, it doesn't transform, or it doesn't play nice with discounted creatures. So if you've played creatures at a discount, like bargain things, and you've played like a 0 cost, 7 cost thing, so like let's say you play a 0 cost Bold Bargainer, it will transform that Bold Bargainer into something that costs 2, not something that costs 9, which is very unfortunate. Firestorm's probably A. Yeah, definitely would be A. Hate the fact that it has a random effect and is dependent on your own minions. Yeah, I mean, I've played around with it quite a bit actually in my Twin Soul list and found that it's pretty solid. Another bad thing about this is that you need actual creatures on the board to make it work. So there's a lot of things that make Orsay bad, but, you know. Isn't Storm kind of bad? Yeah, Storm I was debating with, actually. Where did I place that? Where is Storm? Oh, I put it in B. Yeah, this could be a C tier easily, I think. Yeah, we'll put that at C, actually. This only really pairs nicely with Failed Experiment. Looking at the list now, Runin, Lancer, Ice Rock should be up 1 tier. I think Runin could be up 1 tier because, yeah, I think I agree with Runin. I'm not sure about... Well, okay, I can see your points with those ones too. I think, so which one? The ones we are comparing. These ones and this one. Ice Rock to me was not so great because it costs so much lands to build up to. It costs 7. So Ice Rock is a really good pick to me off of like Seek Shelter and things, but just the Ice Rock alone as a card isn't that great. I think I can agree with putting Runin at B though. My problem with Snowstorm Lancer is it's 5 cost, 3/5 body. Like it's a 3/5 body on your opponent's turn, but you like Runin and Ice Rock where they are. Runin's really hard for me to place because like you can get him out of hand. I think these I'm happy with where they are, but Runin to me is, I don't know, like it can get out of hand if you play it early, but it's so bad also. Hey, Cheese. So, Cheese, where would you rank Runin? Because I'm unsure. You'd put Old Oak into C. The Old Oak. The Old Oak. The Oakling? Which is Old Oak? Runin and that 4/2 legendary flyer are D. Or Ariana? I think Ariana's a little bit better than Runin. Not too much better, but I think it's a little bit better. They do lose on board very hard, though. Which one's the Old Oak, though? Where did I put Oakling? I can't remember. I think I put that at B, right? Oakling. Where did Oakling go? There's a lot of cards here now. Oh yeah. Yeah, Oakling and B. I think that's fine. Crumbling Golem. Oakling is a young oak. Oh, well, oh yeah, that's true. Oakling is a young oak. Ariana allows you to run 15 tempo cheating cards into your deck and you still have enough minions. Yeah, I think Ariana's not terrible, but it's not the best. Crumbling Golem's pretty awful. But I mean in Rush, like the only place you'd ever play this is in Rush, and I think like for 5 cost is pretty devastating. Only costs 1 mountain, I think. Crumbling Golem. Crumbling Golem. Yeah, 1 mountain. I think C is fine for you. Ogre Battler's pretty decent. Probably B. Ogre Battler's pretty solid. What's the old oak? I'm not sure. Oak Father, I guess. The 1-5. Oh, okay. You think this would be lower? I think B is fine. I mean, like, even if you trade it off, it's 5 cost for 5/5 stats, which is pretty solid. You kind of pool your eggs in one basket, which isn't the best, but you know. Boulder Thrower, I guess, can be used, but it's pretty awful. Devouring Plant's not the worst. I think it's C tier. It's like, it does stuff. Okay, we got a lot of cards to go through. Let's go faster. Red Devil is pretty solid. I don't know how to rate these, actually, because these ones are pretty good in bargain, actually. You'd put Boulder into meme? Fair enough, I agree. Boulder's pretty terrible. So, probably Seedling. Probably these are memes, too. I don't know. I'm not sure what D tier is doing just yet. I think D tier is like, you can use them, but they're awful. But I don't know. Devil and Battler are A tier. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, these could be easily A tier, I think. Sapling ain't meme. If it don't get ciphered instantly, it's okay. Okay. I haven't really played around with it, so fair enough. Should have just trolled you and put Boulder into A tier, straight faced. Yeah, I'm not sure where to put these, because these could easily be A. I think Red Devil makes sense in A. I think it's really solid. Like, it's 6/5, 6/4 stats for what, 4? Wait, 4 cost? Yeah. And then it's a 9 cost, so like it pairs so nicely with bargain things. I think Red Devil. But then Ogre Battler's so good too. Yes, it should have just went there. I don't know. Let's put these in high A for now, and then we'll see where the other bargain cards go. Cypher's Fodder is probably C. I mean, I could see some use there. This one's interesting. Like, this one's never used, but I think, like, honestly, it's solid stats, solid body. It only costs one mountain, I think. Bloodstone something. Bloodstone Sprite. Yeah, it only costs 1 mountain. It's the same cost as a Mace Man with, like, upside, I guess. It's not very good, but it's solid stats. Play Tail in Rakoan deck. Play Rakoans for free. Swarm the board, play Illusion. I like that 4/4. I've been trying to make it work for like 3 years. It's crap. Yeah, this one's super sad. Like, I've tried to make it work as well, and it's awful. But I think I feel bad putting it here just because of the stat line. Like, it's not the worst. This one's pretty awful, but I think it's usable. Flame Spitter's probably C? I don't know. I mean, it's 3 cost. It's a 3 cost Falcon Dive, but it gives you a body. A 2/2 body, which I think is fine. I mean, it trades evenly with, like, Soul Drain, Cypher's Wrath. I think C tier is fine for that. Hellfire is pretty decent. Not sure about Hellfire. Maybe, like, also high B. Probably definitely a B. I don't think Hellfire is that good. Yeah, no, Hellfire is, like, just a regular old B. The new 3 cost Falcon Dive. This list is getting tricky. Yeah, there's a lot of cards to rank here. There's like so many considerations about this too. Like, different cards are better in different sort of decks. Salamander is alright. I guess it's C tier. Firebringer's pretty good. Hey, El Panico! Tetra and S. I wasn't sure about this one, to be honest. Some of the, like, a lot of the S tiers I'm not super sure about. Aurora's definitely S. Definitely S. Salamander. Hey, thanks for the raid. Oh, I don't have my alerts set up on this one. Wait, one sec. Let me quickly add alert box. Alert box are fun things. Alert box. Add alert. Okay. Okay. Hellfire matters more about enemy stat lines than your own synergy. Yeah, I think Hellfire is very... Yeah, probably. B makes sense to me. Did I put Azurai in rank S? Azurai's not that good. Azurai's okay. It's decent. It's okay in C or something, the Azurai. You think in C? Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really played around with Azurai, so I was unsure about ranking that one. Tethra is bad, you think? Thought you were an Azurai fanboy. Mother of Yaks. Hey, no Fael. I don't recognize your name. Have you... I mean, you must have played a little bit of Faeria. If Mother of Yaks is S, is pretty good. Put Kaleem one tier above. Wait, did I don't think I've ranked Kaleem yet. Oh, you just mean one rank above Azurai. Yeah. Azurai, I'm not sure. He could go there for now. Firebringer's pretty... Oh god, I accidentally clicked something. Oh no, where'd the Firebringer go? I've lost him. Oh, he's here. I think Firebringer's probably B. Could be A. I mean, Firebringer's... Nah, probably B. B is probably fine. Started Faeria in beta, but took lots of breaks. Oh, fair enough. Most yaks aren't too hot. That's fair. I think, yeah. I'm trying to... Yeah. There's a lot of considerations for ranking here. B is probably fair for Firebringer. Ignis? C? Ignis is a little bit too expensive. Thank God Lizard ain't here. He would be dropping info bombs on us all the time. Ignis is a meme, you think? Like, with all the +1 stuff, I think it can be used a little bit more than these stuff. It can be utilized a little bit more. It costs way too much, though. Like, 8 cost, +1 is a meme. I think it works. Like, it's not the best, but it works. I think it's also a meme. Ignis and the event are okay. Like, Ignis paired with those other stuff are reasonable. But 8 cost is so much. I guess, like, a high D. I guess, like, a high D is okay. Flameburst S, I think I'd agree with that. Flameburst is so strong. Blood Song's pretty much a meme. I think that's D tier. It's usable. Lord of Terror is terrible. Shedim Brood is okay, probably like C. The stat line is reasonable, but it's not very good. We'll put it there. Shedim Pest is also reasonable, but probably C. Probably like a C. Better than Lil Juan for sure. Look where he placed the Wisp. The Wisps are awful. Like, a lot of the Wisps. Okay, actually, I don't know. I think Azure Wisp probably is a meme. Azure is probably useless. Actually, this is probably useless. This one can be used. This Kobold is pretty solid stats, actually. It's 4 cost, I think. Pretty sure it's 4 cost. Kobold, War Beast. Yeah, 5/4. I don't think the Yak tag really matters, but it's an angry creature. That can matter. Shedim is same tier as this. Actually, that's fair. So Shedim is 4 cost, right? Yeah. So on its own, it's awful. 4/2 is awful. But a 6/4 for 4 is pretty solid. It does cost 3, though. I don't think it's that good. I think you're right though. These probably belong on the same list, the same tier. But I think Shidim's here. Why do I think that this one's higher? I mean, the War Beast is only one mountain though. Shidim is meme tier. It's reasonable. You bring Colossus decks to tournaments? Oh no. It got worse. Oh, wait, War Beast is 2 land. Oh, okay, sorry. For some reason I thought it was 1. 2 mountain. 2 mountain. I guess this is probably C then. Yeah. Yeah, in my mind I had it as 1. That makes sense. Gift of Steel I think is C. It's not that powerful. 4 cost. +3/+3. Yeah, War Beast isn't that awful. Like, it's pretty decent. It's under C at the moment. I don't know. I think Gift of Steel isn't the best. 4 cost. A little bit too much. War Beast is not garbage, but nothing special. What tier is that? I think C. C is like... C tier is like, you can still use these cards reasonably, I think. But they're not the best. I don't know. Maybe God Hunter should be actually reduced. I don't know. We might take a look at some of these later. Kobold Barracks is kind of okay, actually. It's 2 cost, give 2 attack. But I don't know. Maybe C. Yeah, War Beast is definitely for angry decks. I think they only fit in angry. Unless you're doing some weird Rubiac thing. But they're only an angry, really. I mean, as an angry card, it's okay, but yeah, probably stays there. Meteor. This is an interesting one. Not sure where to put Meteor. Meteor and Krog is the strongest card. Yeah, getting them reduced. It's really strong. Like, being able to just blow up lands. Kind of difficult to make work. I think I can, like, solidly put this in B. Like, 12 cost, 5 mountain, but I mean, you build a deck around it. Build up to 5 mountain. Like, especially with Krog Rush. Reduce this down, just blow up their lands. God Hunter is S. Where it belongs. Ninja Toad could even be S. I don't know about that. Like, these cards are so strong. Ninja Toad is 4 cost, though. So, like, the best you get is, like, double collection with it, which is difficult to pull off. And then it's a 2 cost 3 damage, which is okay. But, like, it's not overpowered, I think. Herald's really good. Probably A. Herald. 4/4 stats that buff your combat things. Axe Grinder might actually be S. Wind Soldier S. Yeah. Wind Soldier could be A or S. But Ninja can survive. That's true. It's very rare for it to survive, though. It needs to hit into a 1 attack thing. And then, like, you know, whatever. You're killing a 1 attack thing. Axe Grinder could be S tier. It's either A or S. I think it's better than Mystic Beast. Axe Grinder is just... It's a early game collector. Axe Grinder for sure is S. Yeah, I think I probably agree there. Like, it's a 3 cost collector, 1 mountain, and then you... Like, a 3 cost 4/3 is already good, and then it becomes a 5/4. 1 land makes it S. The red S tiers are coming. Yeah, a lot of red I think's gonna be an S, probably. I don't know. We'll see. The kobolds... I don't know about this guy. Maybe C is fine for him. Kobold War Leader. Okay, quite a few cards. We'll put him there for now. So I'm not sure. Cypher's Wrath is probably still A tier, though. Like a high A. I think 2 damage doesn't matter that much. Like, if you burn, it matters, but... I don't know. I think A is fine for that one. Flame Burst is probably S. So is Boss, actually. Architect, I'm not sure. Like, there's not very good structures out there. Well, I put Devouring Plant at C. I guess because it's usable. Architect is usable. I mean, 2 cost. It's pretty value. Boss A, Brigand S. That makes sense. Architect is a meme. Yeah. I guess there's not enough synergy with Architect. Like, I'll probably put it into D, but I don't think it's a meme. Even Storm Spawn could be rated lower. But Boss is probably A, like a high A. Brigand you add more often than Boss. Yeah, Brigand's a little more, like, Brigand is like free, or like it's all like 1 cost 2 damage maybe, if it dies in 1 hit. Cypher is strong, but I don't think it's S. That's another high A. We need like a A+ tier maybe. So Brigand could easily be S. Brigand could easily be S, but I'm not sure. It's either S or A. Ground Shaker is definitely S. That's definitely. Cannoneer beats Brigand. It does. Hey, Stinky. Flameburst, Brigand, Wrath, Shaker, all S. I don't think Wrath is S. I mean, it's so efficient, but I don't think the 2 damage is as important. Like, Soul Drain, I think, is better. Like, generally speaking, I think Soul Drain is better. Because, like, Cypher's Wrath you include in regular... I don't know. But Flameburst at S makes sense. This is complete meme. I think D. I mean, if your opponent doesn't have an answer to this, then it could do something. Firebomb is okay, probably C. Battle Rager is terrible. Is Battle Rager ever useful? No, I don't think so. I think Battle Rager is a meme, to be honest. Flame Cannon is the most viable ranged unit. The most viable? Amazing stream, Moon. Oh, thanks, Alpanico. Yeah, what are the archers? There's more viable than this. Like, the yellow archer is really good for rush. Yellow rush. Helps you a ton in green for screen decks. Yeah. I think, like, Flame Spitter is okay, but I don't know, it's so easily answered. Although, it's okay. I think the problem with this is that everyone that I have faced who plays Flamethrower is kind of new to the game and doesn't know how to play so much. So, like, it feels lackluster, so I think I don't really have an accurate power level representation of this card. So this, I don't know, it could be stronger than it actually is. Don't think it's ever okay. You brought Battle Rager to the monthly cup. Nice. I mean, hey, I brought, like, if you bring memes to a tournament and do well, that's awesome. Some very dirty rush decks. Like, it can, I don't know, like, it's 7 cost and then, I don't know, you get to trade a creature. I think it's still a meme, though. I don't see it being that useful. These are okay, I guess. C tier. I mean, the stat line's pretty solid as a collector if you're running like a control list. It's an efficient combat tool. If Battle Rager is... I mean, okay, actually, fair enough. This has... Like, I was thinking of this being immediately removed, but I guess if you play this down immediately, it still has something. We'll put it at D. Like, it's still a 7 attack that you have to immediately answer. So D is fine. Bomb Slinger... Is Bomb Slinger S? Or is this, like, high A again? Because Bomb Slinger is such a huge swing. It's only 5 cost. I might put it here. Bomb Slinger is really strong. A to B. Maybe A. Oops, that's the wrong one. Oh, yeah. It's A at least, yeah. Bomb Slinger's B, you think? Too many counters. That's true. Fair point with it requiring a land. That's a fair point. I think it's definitely not S with those considerations, but A seems fine. Maybe like low A. Cannon Carrier is very strong, I think. Cannon Carrier's 5 cost, 2/4 body, 4/2 body. This could be like S even. A plus, yeah. I don't know about S, but it's definitely like one of the highest A's there is. Ground Shaker, I'm not even gonna talk about that one. That's like immediate like high S tier. Krog. Krog's like okay. Is Krog? I don't know, maybe Krog's like a B because it can be answered. Like it's either your opponent has an answer for it or they don't. Krog is meme tier. If it's in your face, yeah, it's polarizing. That makes sense. Yeah, that's the thing. So Krog is like, there's either an answer, like you need an early answer, otherwise it just collects too much value. I think like B is fine. Bold Bargainer's pretty solid. Maybe like Bold Bargainer feels like an A. It's a free 3/4 body with a deck built around it. Things have changed. Yeah, Krog actually does stuff. This guy's not the best. I mean, it's okay. Is this like B? No, it's a 7 cost 7/7. I think it's like on par with like Runin and stuff. Dinner's really good, actually. Dinner might be A. I don't know. Dinner. I think like you get to just keep playing Krog multiple times with the Dinner, right? Dinner can't be higher than Krog himself. But Dinner is like kind of better than Krog. I mean, you do have to play Krog. I don't know. That's a weird one to kind of do. Dinner enables Krog. Okay, we'll put it on the same tier, same spot. Like if you run Krog, you kind of have to run Dinner, right? In a lot of cases. This guy's like a B, maybe. I mean, it's 5 cost, 5/5 with upside. That's pretty reasonable. Hate Seed's honestly A tier, maybe. I think this should be ranked the same as Firebringer. These and Firebringer. I mean, I don't know. Is Hate Seed better than Firebringer? No, they're probably about the same. Dinner above Krog seems weird. Yeah. Maybe we need to be on the same spot. Flame Burst is stronger. Yeah. Dance. So these kind of have to be ranked the same. I'm not sure about these being A. They're definitely better than these other stuff, right? Dance and Dinner. Well, these are random. That's the problem, actually. I think the randomness isn't very good. Maybe this is like also down at B. Dance is stronger than Bargain. Dance is A. Firebringer same tier as 3/5 Green Jumper. Feels weird. That's fair. A lot of these are weird. Like these are pretty decent. I'm just not sure if I want to put them in A. Like, are they on par with these things? Like, these things are so good. Battletoads. These? Maybe I need to like change a couple things. Oh, I put this at B. I think it's, yeah, I don't know. Firebringer is pretty strong. We might need more tiers, right? Might need more tiers. I don't know. Let's just stick with this. Let's get through what we have. And then, because we've been going 2 hours almost, I don't want this to be too long. We'll go through everything we have and then we'll make up some stuff later. Like we'll change things around a little bit later. So the Nat is probably B. I mean, it enables a lot of stuff. I think B is fine. Just start over with S A plus. Nat's not bad. Like it enables stuff. There's that green yellow Nat deck that's actually pretty strong, especially paired with the green structure. Flashwind is like, Flashwind could be S. Flashwind could be S. It's either A or S. On par with Flameburst though. I think, I don't know, is 0 cost, which is pretty insane. We're being too optimistic about cards. Flashwind is A, S. The card cost is too high. Actually, that's a good point, Cheese. That's actually a good point. It does cost a card. Yeah. Actually, I think I don't know. This one's a hard one, because you have the additional effect of being able to move an opponent's creature, but that's 2 cost. But yeah, the fact that this costs a card to use is another thing. That's another thing to consider. But I think it's definitely like high A. S should be like a must-have. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. I agree with that. Scourge Flame you think needs to go up. I was unsure about these ones. I think I put them in B, right? Yeah, the Scourge, Soul Eater, Twin Soul. Crackthorn's probably a B for sure, but these 3 are like either B or A. I'm not sure. You don't use Teth. Yeah, so Tethra was one I wasn't sure of. Like, this could probably be an A. I think this would be fine as an A. We'll see. Doomgate is like C. It's better than D tier, but not that useful. I mean, it's 1 cost that can draw your card, enables a sack engine. Also something your opponent has to answer. I think C tier is fine for that. Doomsday is like a D. It's useful. I mean, like it's usable. I mean, Aurora's not in every blue, but I think that's certainly an S tier. Don't think Sunken Tower and Water Ellie are S. I think, like, Water Ellie is so strong to me, especially in the current meta with, like, green-blue things. Sunken Tower, I was debating. Mistral Guide's probably A or B, like, high. Mistral Guide probably, like, high B for now. This thing's terrible. I don't think this is ever even D. This is just complete meme. Like a 4 cost 3/3 that, like, the life drain is irrelevant. It's a 4 cost 3/3. Underestimate Water Ellie. Yeah, Water Ellie to me is so strong. Like the amount of times I've seen that go off and be like just the turn 1 play alone is like game winning sometimes. I don't know about game winning, but very strong. Yellow kind of set up lethal all of a sudden, setting up creatures. I think so. Champion to me, Windborn Champion to me is S tier, which I think makes Flashwind an A tier. Sunken Tower is OP, amazing, but still only A. Yeah, I might put Sunken Tower back to A. Choking Sand is probably B. It's very situational, but it's really good value when you get into that situation. This thing is A, I think. Zealous Crusader, pretty solid. The Archer's probably D. Probably C or D. Probably D. I mean, with an event-based, I don't know. With an event-based deck, you can get it to do stuff. Maybe high D, low C. Soul Pact is S, because it's a cheater card. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, Soul Pact is a thing. They changed Unbound Evolution. Oh, that was a long time ago, huh? Charger is probably C. Yeah, Charger's better than the Archer, so I think Charger... Is Charger B? No, Charger's C. So Charger... Windstorm Charger used to be... Don't put Archer below God Hunter. Oh, okay. God Hunter needs to go down. God God Hunter doesn't belong there. Windstorm Charger used to be a 2/4 and it was really strong. At a 2/3, I think it's not as good. Well, it's definitely not as good, but like, it can't trade into as much stuff. Sky Captain is like B or C. Maybe B is okay. God Hunter is now the meme hunter. I mean, so it's a 3-cost 5/4 can only... Man, this is terrible. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was ever a C. But I guess it's... Like, it can do stuff. Like, 3-cost 5/4 can be... I don't know. Dune Drake is probably D. It's too expensive, can't collect. It used to be good, but... Actually, yeah, Dune Drake wasn't even changed. Just like the other... Like the meta shifted and Dune Drake's just not used anymore. Yeah, Tiki Chieftain destroys God Hunter. Yeah, like a taunt just wins. Yeah. Ruby Fish is okay. I agree. Ruby Fish is okay, but I'm not sure. Like Sturdy Shell is better, for sure. And I don't know. I don't know if Ruby Fish would be run that much. So Windborn Champion, to me, is S tier. I think it's so strong for what it does. Imagine an early collector. Yeah, like Ruby Fish isn't bad at all. It's the same spot as Farm Boy? Maybe. It's even a bit better than Farm Boy. Could be a C, but I'm not sure. It walks on water, exactly. Emissary is definitely A tier. 3-cost 5/3 flyer most of the time. The Cauldron is... So Cauldron is like value, right? It's a 2-cost 3/2. But I think because of like where the meta is with all the removal spells and stuff, this is pretty awful. Wind Soldier. This is definitely high A. Have you ever seen a deck where people put Ruby Fish in? Yeah, I mean, I've seen a deck with Ruby Fish, just like as an early collector. Wind Soldier is S. I could agree with that. I'm not sure, though. What do we have for S? Like, these are pretty good. Wind Soldier on par with these guys. Oh, well, okay. I mean, Wind Soldier has to be on par with Flame Burst, of course. Wind Soldier has to be the same tier as Flame Burst. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Definitely a lot better than Ninja Toad. Yeah, I agree with that also. Smile is either... I think Smile is like a B. I mean, Smile's really good. Draws you 2 flyers. But I don't know. Maybe like a high B. Cost some Faeria. This is probably... This one's hard. So like specifically a rush deck, that's pretty good, right? A, B, maybe B. Yeah, probably B. It's not the best. Yeah, I'll just put it there. This guy is like a 3-cost 3/3. I guess it's solid, but probably like a C tier card. I don't know. It's got dash. I don't know. Like this should work, right? Like the card text feels like it should be better. Pandora card. Mistral also B. Where did I put Mistral? Yeah, Mistral's a B. I don't know. Like Mistral is pretty easy to make work with other stuff. Could be an A, but I think Mistral's probably... I don't know. It's like a high B, right? Wind Soldier is definitely better than Ninja. I would agree with that. I think... Yeah. Ninja Toad's a bit too... Like, the jump makes it easier to double collect sometimes, but... Aviary is not very good. I don't know. I haven't played around with Aviary enough to really rank this one. Maybe it's C? I don't know. What do you guys think? Mr. Guy, do you think's A? I guess there's a lot of decks that are really good with it. Yeah, fair enough. I'd agree with Mistral Guide A. But what do you think Aviary? What do you think about Aviary? Because I'm not sure. Plus Lionfish. Good in Flyers. Probably C. Otherwise, Aviary is pretty meh. Yeah, okay. I'll agree with C. It's got some synergy. And I think Mistral A is fine. It's probably okay there. This is... Fanatics an A. Mobility plus a creature. Pretty A. This, I think, is A. This is pretty great to me. Like 3 cost, 2/1, haste, draw a card, everything Yellow Rush would ever need. Aviary is good? Okay. We'll keep it at C for now. This is A. This could even be S. This is... Well, you only get to use 1 a turn. No, and it's 3 deserts, so I guess A is fine. Yeah, definitely A. Fanatics higher than A? I think A is fine where it is. Like, it's... I think these are kind of on par. When Flashwind is... Like, they're good in certain situations. They're both good for different things. Yeah, like an A+. Desert Twister is also kind of... Like, all of these mobility tricks are kind of in the same spot. They all have their downsides. Like, Desert Twister costs 5 deserts, which is a lot, but the effect is so strong. Teleport one of your creatures or a friend or a opponent's creature. Wingate, I think I'm confident putting A. It's been pretty good. Needs to be lower because 5 deserts. I think it's really strong though. Maybe like a... Maybe it doesn't have to be like a higher A, but I think it's still really strong. Desert Twister B, you think? Even C? I think Desert Twister is really good. I don't know. Desert Twister... I mean, again, it's like card weight. Maybe it is B. Actually, so let's see. Yeah, okay. Maybe the Desert Twister is definitely worse than these two. These two are definitely the better ones. But Desert Twister, you can like pull an opponent's creature. You can get one of your creatures teleported. But yeah, fair enough. These are definitely better. These are definitely better. It's good, but 5 deserts. Yeah, this is maybe... This is between A and B then for me. Maybe here. Training is really good. 1 cost mobility. Iona's probably a B. Yeah, a lot of yellow decks just run 3 deserts. Yeah, that's fair. I actually agree with this being at a B. Followers probably a B. It's like okay. 0 cost, 2 damage. No, wait, it's 1 cost. I'm not sure. The rush card, the yellow rush cards are going to be difficult to rank because yellow rush isn't in a good spot right now. So, I'm not sure. This could be like B or C, I guess. What about, what's compared to the other cards? I guess it's like, it's not that great. Oh yeah, Kaleem at 2 desert was really strong. But here he is. Kaleem is still really strong. This is either an A or a B. Either A or B. Oh, you climbed to number 4 with Yellow Rush. Fair enough. Well, I mean, Kaleem for what it does is really good, I think. Like, the stats are solid. The charge 2 solid. Cost 5. The 3 deserts is the only unfortunate part now. But yeah, the stat line's really strong. Yeah, you're right. 2 desert Kaleem was amazing. Horsemaster was too wild. Was too wild. Wait, was Horsemaster too wild? I know Horsemaster used to be not wild, and that was insane. Oh, this is Ostrogoth, which we're not going to be ranking. We already have Doomgate. This thing is C? I mean, yeah, I think C is fine. Like, it's a 4-3 for 4, which is not great stat line. for the cost, but it can be summoned anywhere. I think it can go there. Khalib centerboard start. It's so good. This guy's probably C. It doesn't really do much on its own. Oath to Oblivion sucks. I think that's the meme. I don't know. Have you guys played around with Oath to Oblivion? I never have. Oath is a meme. Yeah, fair enough. Because I think this was in the starter decks tournament, if I remember. Because I remember this being played somewhere. I think that was the starter decks tournament. This guy's pretty great, actually. Demon Wrangler. Is this A? This could be A tier. Deathwalker is terrible. This is probably D. I mean, so Deathwalker, like the 6 attack hardly matters because it's got Death Touch. Just means that its Death Touch will never disappear. So it's like 3 cost, 4 life stat, which is reasonable. Wrangler's A. Yeah, I agree. Picked Oath often when Tyrian Expedition. Yeah. Also, another thing, like, I'm not considering any of these cards from, like, card generation, like Tyrian Expedition or Seek Shelter. Because, like, Ice Rock Behemoth is a lot better in Seek Shelter because you're not forced into red-blue. So I'm not making those considerations. Last Nightmare... Is Last Nightmare A? Is it even A? Maybe it's B. Because Nightmare is... I don't know. Nightmare is super expensive. I guess because it's hard removal, we put it in A. And hard removal is pretty good. But it's probably like... Yeah. Yeah, Nightmare's an A. Lord of the Wastes is B. I think... Yeah, I definitely agree with B. Lord of the Wastes, like, I have actually played with Lord, and it's not terrible. It's a decent card. This thing's terrible. Probably D. Like, 5 cost is way too much for a 3 life stat thing. Shaytan Assassin's not actually that bad. I mean, I know, like, a lot of people... I know we all say that this one's bad, like, it just gets Emperors commanded, but without command, it's actually pretty solid. So it's probably like C tier. Like, it's better than all of this stuff. You put Lord of Wastes. Wait, I put Lord? Wait, that's not Lord. Oh, is that Lord of Wastes? Hang on. I thought that was something. Wait, Lord. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought this was Deathwalker. Okay. Yeah, this is Lord of Wastes. I think this goes into B. So yeah, this is Lord of Wastes. I meant to put Deathwalker here. This is Deathwalker. Okay. Deathwalker goes into D for me. Shaytan Demons, at least an A. It's so strong. Deathwalker in D. AKA Toilet Ghost. Hey, Mac. Welcome. Deathwalker. The thing, like, Deathwalker is 3 cost, 4 life, which isn't that awful, but it also requires that you have a creature. Like, it's not optional like Shaytan Assassin, so I think that's what makes it goes into D, maybe like a higher D, I don't know. This thing's pretty terrible, I think. Wait, so this, what is this one? Shaytan something. This is like a 4 cost... Cost 2 less if you attacked a god this turn. Yeah. Probably D. D tier. Deathwalker is a new player debate card. Yeah, I think... Yeah. I think you're right. It's a debate card. Monstrosity is probably A, right? Monstrosity is so strong. I mean, it's not so strong, but like it needs other stuff to make it work, but... Pretty strong, I think. It's either A or B. Monstrosity A, no way. A, S! It's either A or B. I mean, it needs extra stuff, right? Needs extra stuff. Monstrosity requires... It's 5 cost. I don't know. I haven't played enough around with Monstrosity. Probably like a B. Put all the sack creatures in C or D, and then you put monstrosity A. Well, this isn't a sack creature though. Like, it doesn't really run with sack. You run it with like Wind Soldier and things. I think I might put this in B though, actually, because it does require stuff to make it work. Like, on its own, it's a 0/5, which sucks. So yeah, B makes sense. This thing sucks. This is a 3-cost 6/1. That's awful. That's god awful. Monstrosity is S. I'm between B and A, but like on its own, it doesn't do anything. It's a 0/5, which I guess you're never going to play this on its own anyways, but you know. Soul Drain, honestly, is like, I think Soul Drain's better than Cypher's Wrath. Like, this could go to S for me, but I'm not sure. I mean, I guess these have to be ranked the same, right? I don't know. Soul Drain, Cypher's Wrath. We'll come back to those. Soul Pact. This is certainly A or S. Soul Pact. 2 free Faeria. I'm not sure. Maybe A for now. That could be S easily, though. Looking better than Cypher's Wrath. Yeah. Trainer A. For me, it's B. I wasn't sure about Trainer. I think it's okay at an A. Maybe not. Because Trainer, let's see. I usually don't run Trainer. I run these other stuff. It's kind of on par with, like, Prophet for me, maybe. What else is in B tier? Yeah, Trainer, I'm not sure. We'll put that at, like, low A. Maybe B. I'm not sure. These other stuff are certainly better. I don't know. Yeah. Triton Trainer. Triton Trainer. We'll put this at, like, put that there. Maybe A. I don't know. Triton Trainer's an interesting one. I'll make my own tier list with blackjack and hookers. Soul Pact not better than Prayer? Yeah, Prayer is really strong. I think Soul Pact is probably fine. Actually, that's a true point though. Soul Pact's definitely better than Windfall. Windfall can go to B for those reasons. Because Windfall's a bit difficult to play. I think this actually goes to B. Like, this is really solid stats, but I think, like, you have to rely on drawing a 7-cost. I think we can put this to B. Alright, let's finish the list first, and then we can make adjustments. Altar of Souls. C? B? Altar of Souls isn't bad. It's 3 Desert, though. I think 3 Desert makes it a C tier. Soul Pact. It is. The Soul Pact doesn't give you any deck weight, which is one thing, but I guess. I said S means it belongs to every deck. Yeah. S means it belongs to every deck. Yeah. Yeah, I think Soul Pact is an A tier. I mean, Soul Pact a lot of the time is in every deck, to be honest, but Demon Wing's pretty good. Demon Wing could be an A. Demon Wing's like, I don't know. Maybe. We'll put it there for now. We're almost at the end. We'll adjust things at the end. This guy is like, C? I don't know. The Yak. I mean, in a Yak stack, it can be used. It's not that good, though. 2, 3 stats for 3. You think Rune Shrine is S tier? Where did I rank Rune Shrine? I think it's at a B, right? Oh, there's so many images. Yeah, it's at a B. I think, I don't know. Actually, it might be better than a B, but I don't know about S tier. Demon Wing is great for monstrosity decks. Kind of only used through Wrangler. No, also Demon Wrangler and Flyers is really good. That's a C, one of the worst decks. Let's put this at the top. We might have some debates with that one. Emperor's Command is certainly A. Yak Attack is probably B. Yak Attack's good, but I don't think it's like exceptional. 9 cost. This thing sucks. I think this is meme. I don't think this is ever really D tier. This is like never used. Like I even tried this in a Doomsday deck and it was awful. Command is B. Really, I think that it's super solid for what it is. Like the stat line, I mean not the stat line, the options. Like heal, well I mean Runan's Guidance kind of does a similar thing, maybe even better. Runan's Guidance is up here. Runan's Guidance is better than Command, I think, in most cases, but Command's still like probably an A to me. Yeah. Explorer is the secret OP card. The Explorers are great. War Yak is better than this Yak, but I don't think it's that much better. It's probably still C tier. It's a 5 cost 4/5. Yeah, War Yak's probably fine there. Divine Guardian, B? Not sure about this one. Divine Guardian's pretty easy to get value. I don't know. Easy collector. Yeah, B is fine. B is fine to me. Command needs no land requirements. It's kind of needed in blue. Yeah, I agree. Can kill a husk. It's got a lot of stuff. This thing sucks. Is this thing ever used? I've never really got this to work. Can this be considered D tier? I don't think so. That's probably meme. Punishment is okay. Like, it's very niche, though, and I think that the other destructive volley is a bit better. So I think punishment goes to D, probably. It could be a C. I mean, like it's very situational, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a tech card, so that's a hard one to place. I think it's C. I mean, okay, like 3 cost 5 damage is actually insane. So maybe C is fine. Like it's very situational. But like if you do tech it in for that situation, then it's really strong actually. Yeah, C makes sense. The 2 cost 1/2. Oh, you like this? I'm not really sure about this one. I don't really know if this is viable or not. Rate my D. It can hit all the merchant wild stuff. Does that help? Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, I was actually considering this for myself for countering Husk. I think I considered against it, but honestly, punishment is, like, it could find use. Famine is, like, I don't know. Oh, God. I clicked something. Oh, no. Where'd the famine go? Okay. Famine is probably, I don't know, 1 damage to everything. No, it costs 2. It damages your own creatures too. I think that's definitely D. Yeah, Famine's D. Yeah, I think if it just damaged your opponent's creature, it would be so much better. But Shara's probably a C. Shara's a C. Like, literally have only seen this in Green Rush. Shara's D. I think C is a respectable place. Like, if you can buff this up or your opponent doesn't have an answer to it, can be devastating. Storyteller again is difficult because this like is really good with Husk, which I guess I need to consider. I mean, the draw is pretty solid. 3 cost. It's like a wisdom, but you draw 2. You draw your opponent 2 as well, but Hero shines in red-green deck. Oh, yeah? I mean, okay. I'll put it at a D, because I guess you could get some kind of use out of it, but I've never really I've never really played it. Teller is enabling every single card draw deck. Yeah, that's fair. Storyteller B. Storyteller OP. Okay, I mean, fair enough. I guess in the decks you included in, like, they're kind of necessary. Isn't Lore Thief just better? I don't know. We'll slot it at B for now, I guess. Fortune Hunter sucks. Not even gonna discuss that one. I mean, maybe Fortune Hunter's D. Like, I don't know. You could get it to work. Lore Thief is way worse? Think so. Played Hero the other day, made double lands. Oh, well, actually, Lore Thief is locked into blue. Storyteller can be used in other stuff. Magnus to me is A. It's just so devastating. Plague Bearer is not that great. I mean, it's okay to do a board wipe. It's probably the same tier as, like, Flamethrower. Like, these are probably close to the same sort of thing. Probably makes sense. I don't know. It's... I don't know. It can be devastating, though. I think Magnus is B. I think it's so strong. Way too situational. Magnus on turn 3 is the strongest Progress start. It's the strongest start in, like, any deck that runs it, really. Magnus, to me, is really strong. Kingsguard's not that... I mean, the stats are okay. Well, not really. 3/6 for 6? 3/6 for 6 with taunt? Draw a card? I think that's D tier, to be honest. Not sure. This could be, like, high D. This thing's okay, I guess. Haven't really played around with it, but... like, it's a 2/3 protection. I think it costs too much, though. 4 cost for 2/3? I don't know. Hero into double prairie. Conceit. The unlikely hero. Queen's Guard. You are pretty good. Is this A or is this B? No, this is definitely A. Like, in Rush, you drop an early Queen's Guard. This is so difficult to deal with. Might run a Stanu Magnus meme. A Stanu Magnus? No. Put it to meme. That protection dude is terrible. It's got solid stats still, though. Wait, what's it called even? Queen's something? Queen's Favorite? 2/3 with protection? That's not awful. It's not a meme. But I think it's not the best. Like, if you buff this, it's pretty solid. Baron, so, is Baron on par with Magnus? I think Baron's worse than Magnus, but it could still be A tier. 6 cost to get a free card. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a 4 or 5 body. I think it's probably A. Queen's Favorite is D. Yeah, I put it in D, right? Yeah, it's definitely D. Yeah, the 2/3 protection. Queen's Favorite. In Pandora, he is amazing. I would agree with that. Well, like, yeah, it's really good in Pandora. But, yeah, all of these have nothing to do with Pandora. I don't want to make decisions based on Pandora because that Pandora is a different game altogether. You think Baron's better than Magnus? Yeah, like, Baron, I think, is worse than Magnus, for sure. But I think it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's A tier material. Might come back to that later. This thing is, like, C. Court Jester. Court Jester can be used on, like, fight stuff, but it's not that good. But it's also got taunt. I don't know. It's okay. So this thing... Is this thing ever usable, or is this a meme? Because it used to be used in Red Rush, but I don't think it can be used anymore, right? But I haven't really... So, what is this? Imperial Drain. Faeria walls are empty, because I haven't looked at this since the nerf. I just everyone said it was terrible, so I never played it. Deal 1 damage to this on production. Refill on last words. So you get 2 turns still with this, right? So next turn, they can't collect. Production, deal 1 damage. Next turn, they can't collect. Yeah, you get 2 turns of no production. It's probably fine as a D. It's still usable, right? Outpost is A in Yak decks. Wait, Outpost. The neutral Outpost is pretty good. I like the neutral Outpost. Not this one though. This is Imperial Drain. Imperial Outpost I think is not base set though. Yeah. Just looking at base set cards. Yeah, just the drain. Yeah, some of these pictures look the same. So it can be deceiving. King's Guard. No, wait, what's this one called? King's Faithful? Yeah. This one's not... I think this one's better than the Queen's Favorite. This could honestly be C. Maybe? I mean... Like, command kills it instantly, and then it's awful. But if there's no command, it's actually not the worst. Like, it's 4-1 with protection. I don't know. King's Faithful was A, then command was printed. Oh. Yeah, it's so sad against command. But this is pretty solid still. Like, if there's no command, it's solid. With command, it's terrible. Oh, Monk is coming up. This guy's okay. I think it's still a D tier, though. So this one's 3 cost 2/3 normally. Then on your turn, it's 4/3 for 3 cost. It also counts as an angry creature, but I think it's still probably D tier. Like, these other things are better than it, I think. I'm not sure. Like, I guess in a deck that's like neutral rush, but neutral rush isn't really a thing. Probably D or C, but we'll keep it there for now. Queen's Assassin. This is another difficult one to place, because 1 damage is so easy to ping off, but like the death, it's got no mobility, which is also another thing. This could be like high D. D for deleted from most Faeria players' memory. Worse than Shaytan. Oh yeah. Fair enough. I think Queen's Assassin goes here. 3 costs for a 1/1. It's a bit too expensive. I think it's too easy to deal with because it's got no mobility. You can just leave it alone, run away until you find an answer to it. Royal Judge is probably C. It's okay. A lot of these neutral cards are really difficult to place because they're so like they're neutral, so they don't require lands, but they're also kind of eh. Royal Judge is lit. D equals almost impossible to include. So meme is impossible to include. D is like, you could make this work, but it's like, maybe. Like Colossus, you could possibly make work. I don't know. Like, these are just slightly above the meme tier. But yeah, pretty much these are not cards you're ever going to include in a deck. As long as Royal Judge is higher than God Hunter, I think we're cool. Yeah. Magda's actually not bad. Like, it's going to be C or B, but probably B. Like, since the Wildland change, she's actually pretty strong. I mean, 4 cost, 3 life isn't that strong. That can't defend herself. But yeah, actually fine if your deck is legendaries. It's not that bad. The Red Wisp? Yeah. I used to have this in D. I think this is definitely meme. This is awful. So awful. Okay, Monk. Jeez, what do you think? I think, like, in a normal deck, this is, like, okay at best. I mean, I don't know. Playing this by itself, though, Like you can't play this. You have to play this out of range until it gets value. But it's pretty easy to get the value. Wandering Monk is A. Low A. Yeah, low A makes sense. Because it gets exceptional value, especially with that 5 life stat at 4 cost. I think it's really good. And then, like, the only downside to it is that it's, like, its immediate effect is a 1/5, which is not very good. But it's pretty easy to trigger. It's also neutral. I think A is fine. Wisdom sucks. I don't understand Wisdom, to be honest. This is probably like C. Because you can use it in like fairy decks to draw yourself events, but I don't know. Wisdom is awful to me. Red combat hard mode. Yeah. So next, I gotta like challenge myself to play a deck using every meme card. Hey, Lizard is here! Wisdom is just for cycle. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay, but I think C is probably reasonable. The gang's all here. We're still missing people. Time of Legends is really good, I think. Especially since it like generates you a card now. I think it's definitely A. So Lizard. These are our these are our like top rated cards. These are our S tiers. What are your thoughts? They put Archer in D. I wasn't sure about the yellow Archer. Because I know that it can be used. Wisdom, play 1 card, draw 2. So draw 1 card for... Yeah. But I can also see Wisdom being okay if you... Like... In decks where it synergizes. Like, if you need that card draw. If you want Archer in S, time travel to 2017. Yeah, it does always depend on the deck, which makes tier listing very difficult. But I think, so most of these considerations are, so like S cards are like auto-include in those decks. A lot of the considerations are how good is this generally, but then if you were to, like, how easy is it to build a deck specifically around it? Like Soul Eater, I think, is very safe to say you're always going to be playing this in a green-yellow sack. Like, you never consider this card outside of that. These cards are like these 3 cards. I might push up to A tier. I'm not sure about those. They're probably... Sunken Tower. Yeah, Sunken Tower I'm not sure about. This is like A or S to me. But it's really strong. You can try to look at them in a vacuum, but it's hard. Herald's really good to me. Like, Herald... Like, it's... I don't know. It's so easy to get the value off of it, I feel. Like, super efficient body. Like, 4 cost, 5, 6, sort of. Not really. Lower A tier. Yeah, probably like a lower A tier, but I think it's still A. Tower is A. Yeah, we could... I mean, okay, fair enough. Like, on par with these other mobility tricks is probably also the consideration. It's also situational. Like, I don't run this in green-blue jump usually because, like, jump you don't... It's not necessary. You don't really need that. But yeah, these cards... Also, Boar I wasn't sure about. This could easily be just A tier, but it's also exceptional. Mirror Phantasm you think is B? I think it's so good, though. I mean, you don't always run this. Like, sometimes there's better stuff. Herald is rarely played in any deck. Yeah, that's true. But it's in every blue-yellow tempo, yeah. Herald is bait? Herald is so good, though. I would put half of your A tiers in B. Okay, well, we'll take a look again after we finish. This thing's like D. I don't think we need to talk about that. Imperial Guard's like usable as a collector. Engineer is also usable. This might even be like... I mean, this one's hard to rate, because the deck isn't, like, you have to build a deck around it, and the deck you build is like kind of eh. Safeguards, like high D. Well, this one's better than the Imperial Guard, I guess. I don't know about this being C. But Soul Pact. We have 3 red cards in A, but 20 blue cards. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the blue cards I ranked at the beginning because I think all the blue ones were at the beginning. So as I've gone through this tier list, I have learned some things, and especially like where gotten a feel for the placement and things. Steamforged is probably D. This thing, is this not a total meme, right? You could use this in something, maybe. I don't know. The 2/1 monk in A, you think that's madness? Half your B tiers in A, but it's a bit subjective. Yeah. Everyone's going to have their preference for sure. And I want to take a look at this at the end because, so Day of Dragons, obvious meme. Healing Song, obvious meme. Radiance is really good. Probably B because it's situational. I don't know, high B. 90% of the remainder. Steamforge is C? You think so? Steamforge, I mean, value-wise, I didn't really think about it, but let's see. Value-wise, I guess it's okay. I guess it's like kind of on par with these lower things down here. What do you think about Safeguard, by the way? I didn't really give that much thought, but like 3 cost protection. Nah, that's not very good. I mean, it's very, very situational, and I don't think you'd ever want to include that in a list. Steamforge is between B and C. Interesting. I think like C is fine. Like it is really solid value for a 1-cost structure. Yeah, I can see that. Healing Song was a thing where library decks was in the meta. Oh, Lizard, what's your opinion on library? Because I know you were playing around with this, and I haven't played around with it, but I slotted it in C, and I'm not sure where this goes, because I don't really have enough information on this card. But it feels like it's still semi-viable, but like not used that much. Freedom Fighter S. C tier is fine? Yeah, that makes sense. This is complete meme, right? Is this ever used? Wait, what even is Shimmering Statues cost? Oh, it's 2 costs. Well, yeah. It's not that bad, but I think it's terrible. 2 cost, 4 life? I mean, you could just play any other structure with taunt, really. I thought it was Leia. Now, Leia's a complete meme. We don't play her. Not at all. Yeah, 5 lakes is weak. Yeah. I think if 5 lakes had more synergy with it, library would be better, just as it is. Well, obviously a meme. If you're a new player, just want to say that we're joking and Leia's amazing. Siege Engine. Can I put this at a D? Also, what do you guys think of this? Tax Collector. I mean, I guess you can use it. If it hits once, it's like a 2-cost 1/4. I don't know. D tier is hard to really justify. Steamforge is not that bad, I guess. Wait, Steamforge is 6, right? I mean, Steamforge Enforcer. Yeah, 6 cost, but it is neutral. I could see that being like C. Yeah, it's fine in D. I was just wondering if this is like complete meme or if it's usable. I think it is. This, do you guys agree with like a C tier on that? I'm not sure. 6 cost 6/5, but it is neutral. Doesn't require any lands. Really big for being neutral. I don't know. Tax collector is the dream we all once had. Forgot tax collector even existed. Cutthroat bandit is like same, I guess. Same sort of tier there. Campfire's really good. Probably a B tier. Same with Falcon Dive, probably B tier. I think these are on par with each other. Freedom Fighter is probably C? Not sure. Like, again, it's neutral, so it can be used, but... You think... Wait, the Red Wisp and Green Colossus C tier? Excuse me? So the Green Colossus was something we were having debates about. I don't know about C tier, but like... This one to me is terrible. I don't see this ever being used, right? Definitely better. Definitely playable. Alright, I mean... We could shove that up to a D. If everyone's in sort of agreement there. I guess, like, big stats are always a thing that you could use. Magda into meme tier. Magda's playable, though. Magda's actually, like, usable. Where did I put her? B? Definitely not meme to me. This thing is reasonable. This thing's reasonable. This is like C or B. It's very situational. Probably like C. Yeah, probably C makes sense. Adventure is B, you think? Green Colossus might even be B tier. Adventure is B. Really strong versus Swarm. I guess, yeah. I guess you have to consider this as a tech card. That's a fair point to make. The thing is like, wouldn't you always run Rakowacopter over Adventurer? Well, I guess if you're not in red, then you don't have that option. I guess, I don't know. I mean, like, okay, at worst, like, you play this next to one creature, it's a 4/4. I guess that's pretty solid. I guess that's pretty solid for how it works. How is Magda usable? Because, like, you get, like, it's an answer that must be... It's a threat that must be answered. It's a... I know it's, like, pretty inefficient, a 4-cost 3-life thing that can't defend herself, but I've gotten some really good cards off of her. Ask Moon about Adventurer in Yellow Rush. Yes, Lizard Adventurer in Yellow Rush. It was pretty good, actually. Never got Adventure to work. I played around with it in Mistral Guide. I found that Rakowacopter was better, but like in non-red decks, yeah, it's pretty situational, but I think that in those situations where you would include it, I think it's reasonable. Owlin Ranger is like B, probably. Probably B. Definitely not A. Like in the yellow, when a yellow events was around, I think it was A tier. Maybe? I'm not sure. But like generating the campfire card, really good. Magda, one of the noob cards, number 1. I think B may be a bit too high. Like C makes sense, but she's definitely playable. She's definitely playable. Outland is A. I don't know. It is underrated and could be higher. Angry decks with campfire. It's really strong. Like, I'll put it up here, but I don't know if it's quite A material. Like, it used to be really good. Magda compared to Archer. Okay, where did I put Archer? That was one that I was unsure about. Yellow Archer. I put the red one in C. This is definitely like a low. Okay. Again, let's just finish. Then we'll get to it. So this thing, the Rebel Glider, maybe D. I don't know. This thing's probably D. I don't know. This thing can be used, right? 3 cost, 2/2 damage. We'll put it there for now. This is 3 cost, 4/5. Put it here for now, but I might change that. Horsemaster's definitely like A. Archer is... I don't know if that's usable. Farm Boy is like same as Ruby Fish. This thing, D, I guess. Prairiac is 3 cost 2/4. Which is not terrible. Could this be considered C? We'll take a look. I'll read your guys' chat once I've ranked all this. Village Elder is pretty solid. Maybe A. A or B. This thing... I've never really used this thing. Not sure. Not sure at all with this thing. 1/2 taunt. I don't know. These are probably okay. Like high D. Maceman's pretty solid. Like B. And that's it. Alright, let's see what you guys have to say. Magda compared to Archer, yes. Where was the Archer? Archer. Too bad I can't like control F search for things. There's so much stuff on screen now. Yellow Archer. Don't know where it went. Problem with Magda, it doesn't provide enough deck weight. It's delayed value. I think B was way too high for it. But C is probably fine. Wait. I put it in C, right? Magda. Where did Magda go? Oh yeah, C. C is down here. Okay. Glider is C and Slinger is C for burn. I could see putting Slinger up a little bit because of burn. I'm not sure about Glider though. Like Rebel Glider, I remember this used to be played a little bit. 3 cost dash 2. Can't harvest. I don't know. I guess it's not D. Like it's not on par with like a lot of these D things. I don't know. Can be used. Farm Boy is farm tier. Archer is not usable. No way Archer's in the same tier list as Archer. What? Yeah, this is probably a meme. 4 cost tier 2 Archer? I don't know about that. Prairiac is A. Prairiac could honestly be moved up a bit though. Wait, where did I put it? Oh, I put it in C. No, that's fine. Ruby Fish. Yeah, we've got Ruby Fish at D and Farm Boy. This could probably be C's. Ruby Fish and Farm Boy. They could probably be C's. I don't know. Maceman C. I put Maceman in C, I think. Where did Maceman go? It should be... Oh, I put it in B. Because Maceman to me is like 4 cost 4/4 neutral. Neutral's a huge thing. I don't know. Maceman in B with the other B things. That's true. We gotta take a look at some of these other B things too. Like these things. I don't know if these could potentially be A. Let's see what else. Glider as player 2 blocks forward land. So what do you guys think about Rebel Glider? What do you other guys think? I haven't had a huge amount of experience with it. Maceman and Green Rush is spooky. Yes. Or Yellow Rush, it works into... I guess Yellow Rush isn't seen as much. Pandora tier list for each color would make some sense. Yeah, the thing with Pandora, I don't think I can make a Pandora tier list because I don't play it enough. Pandora makes all these grades +1. And yeah, Pandora like messes with everything. The whole event package is super hard to get right, but if played correctly, A tier. Yeah, it's difficult to judge cards on an individual basis, right? In Pandora, card generation and slow value effects are way better, and tempo play is a lot worse. Yeah. Kind of think Sky Captain is terrible, even though you're playing it. Sky Captain's, yeah. Zordy made you a believer of Glider. Where did I put it? D, right? So what do you guys think of between D and C? Because, I don't know. So the thing is like, you might not play C tier cards, but they could still be playable. Like I don't run Prairie Yak in my Yaks deck, but I mean, you could play it in Yaks, I guess. Rebel Glider. What were the other things? Oh, so Farm Boy. I don't know. Farm Boy and Rubyfish, do they make sense here? Possibly. Glider is not a liability in Rush, so I wouldn't put it in D. I guess it's usable. I don't know. I thought the Glider is a meme, but you don't understand it. Yeah, I've never really played with it. And I remember this used to be different stats and things before. But Dash 2 is very strong, especially with flying, so I could see it doing stuff. You can dash this onto opponent's lands, I guess, which is a consideration, so maybe C is fine. So we're not rating these two. I mean, we already have Battletoads and Doomgate. Let's start at the top, because these are the most important ones. So what do you guys think of Boar, Ancient Boar? It's like, when you trigger it, it does require a condition to be met, but when you trigger it, it's a 3 cost 4 or 5 with dash 2. Farm Boy and Fish are B tier. Boar is fine in S. Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to the bottom. I think let's spend our time on the top, probably. But yeah, if Boar is here, that's like the only one I'm probably debating. Like, Feed the Forest to me is super strong. Is it an auto-clued in green decks? I think it is, to be honest. Like, if you're a green deck with 5 forests, I don't think you'd ever run a 5 forest green deck without Feed. I guess you could run like a 3 forest green deck without Feed. Humbling is meme tier, excuse me. Humbling is for sure an A. So Axe Grinder to me is S. That's super powerful. This is super powerful. Flame Burst, Wind Soldier. These are like on par. Champion's really powerful. I guess these make sense then on A. Yeah, S is a very exclusive tier. So A, we might need to make some adjustments. A, there's a lot of things in here. Maybe the Monk is not A. Feed isn't S. 5 force is a lot. Put Feed into A. Celestial Tower is pretty low. I think Celestial Tower is really strong. Just because it's like, especially in flyers, you just, I don't know, really strong. I don't think Soul Pact is S tier. Soul Pact is really good, but it doesn't, like, it gives you 2 Faeria, but no extra deck weight, really. You like, if you build a deck that has a lot of deck weight, I guess it's okay. But kind of needs Soldier and a Cypher's Wrath S tier. That's another consideration. Not sure about that. Those have been staples. That is true. I could be down with that. Pushing these to S tier. Queensguard I would put in S. Brigand I would put in S. And Soul Pact. I think Queensguard's not S. But these, honestly, as S, make sense. Like, 2 cost 2 damage. So efficient. And then, like, it's not even, like, it's 2 cost 2 damage and then extra effect. Which is pretty cool. Queensguard's not S. No, I don't think Queensguard's S. Queensguard's either B or A. Like, in Rush, it's really strong to come down at your face early because you have nothing to deal with it. But it's very expensive. 6 cost for 3/6 stats is kind of eh. more could go down than go into S. You think boss is B? I think boss is pretty good. Mystic Beast could also be considered S, but I think that... Where's Mystic Beast? Like, Mystic Beast is really situational. Wait, where'd the beast go? Oh, there he is. I don't know. It's really situational to pull off. Like, in a mono blue deck where you have Sunken Towers and, like, aggressive lands, I guess it's really good. It's definitely like an A+. Toad is fine at A. I agree. I think Wind Soldier's better than Toad. I like Ninja Toad super much lately. Yeah, Ninja Toad's pretty good. But I don't think it's S tier viable. Bloom Sprite, Voice, Crusader. Bloom Sprite, Voice, Crusader. Those are ones you have issues with. Bloom Sprite was one I wasn't sure about. Voice is very situational, but in the situation, I think it's really good. Zealous Crusader, I also think is pretty good. Wind Ellie is... Oh wait, Ellie is B. The Air Ellie? Do I have that in A? Yeah, I think I could agree with that. Air Ellie is probably not A. B makes sense for you. But the Soul Pact list is pretty fine mostly. So there were some considerations. What were the ones that we were looking at? These all seemed fine. So, I don't know. Humbling to me is better than Frogify, but I think that it's not S tier. And I think Frogify is fine at A. I'm not sure. I think Demon is S. Just ain't anything better to replace it in some decks, yeah. But yeah, I think Air Alley is probably a B. Deepwood... Oh, Golem, I was actually considering moving to S. Where's Golem? Golem's really powerful. Frogify is B? It could be. What do you guys think of Frogify? Because I'm not sure. Golem is very high up here. For me, at least. Like 5/10 for 5 is huge. It does cost 5 forests, but... Garridan's C tier? I think Garridan's still powerful. No? Like Garridan's still a 6/6 charge too, but I guess like you kind of want to clear the board if you've got 10 Faeria in hand, and you're probably not going to clear the board with only 2 damage. It could be... I don't know, Garridan's still really strong to me. Yeah, you wouldn't run 3 Frogifies for sure. But it's probably okay at A. Maybe we'll like drop it down to like nearer the bottom. It's like a low A tier. You think Humbling's B? I think Humbling's really good. Like better than Frogify. I don't know. Where did the Nat land? Oh, okay, I missed some stuff. Nat is, I think I put it in B. Yeah, Nat is in B tier. I think Nat is okay. I don't think Deepwood should be S. Insta removal, leaving body. Like, it's not insta removal. Like, it's insta removal to really cheap things. Deepwood Stalker is very strong, but I don't think it's, like, an insta include at all. A lot of the time I cut this card because it's just kind of eh. Humbling meme tier changed my mind. But like Humbling is kind of like pseudo, it's kind of like on par with Frogify. It's like pseudo removal, pseudo hard removal, and like like humbling same stats as Frogify would need a 7/7. No wait, not 7/7. 5/5. Eh. Yeah, if you humble a 7/7, it brings it down to a 3/3, which can be sometimes difficult to deal with. Garridan only good when you're enough Faeria ahead. Maybe. So Garridan could also be like a lower end of the A. But I think it's pretty strong. Gary really ain't great. He sometimes isn't even good in Krog. Fair enough. I mean, I guess, yeah, it's so much an investment and you don't get to clear the board. I might be down to moving it to a B. Probably is a B. But I think it's decent still. Yeah, failed at an A. What do you think about that? I'm not sure about that one either. I think, like, the value is fantastic on failed. Oh, you're gonna move to bed tier. Alright, Noah File. Thanks for stopping by. I think we're pretty much finished. Just kind of fine-tuning things. When Queen's Guard comes down, is your first thought, oh god? or oh good? Well, my first thought is, oh god. Queen's Guard is free because Demon Kaleem insta-wins. Demon Kaleem? Demon is S. Oh, you mean Shaytan Demon? Demon's really strong. I don't think it's S, but it's definitely up there. Like a 3-cost... I mean... I don't know. Boar is certainly better than Shaytan Demon now, but Shaytan Demon's pretty good. Especially Demon Training, yeah. You have another year to get God rank. Almost there. Alright, let's go through these A ranks. Am I happy with them? I don't know about this guy, the Commander. Commander's probably like lower on the A scale. These are pretty solid. This is definitely, I don't think this is A tier. This is probably like B. But Rainforest Explorer is still pretty good because of what green-blue does for it. Yeah. Make a deck with only S tier cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, I could do it. I could. I probably wouldn't run the champion or the feed, I guess. I don't think that's viable, but you know, it could happen. Commander is better than the 4/4 frog. You think so? I mean, the the aquatic tag is pretty actually important. 3/3 with aquatic lets it early collect. This, yeah, this is probably not as good. This is like lower A. Battletoad's certainly very strong. Why is Trick in A? Wait, why? I don't think... Is Trick in A? No, Trick is in B. Aurora's Trick is in B. I wasn't sure about that one. Like, 5 Legs has hard synergy. Yeah. But... Warrior is OP. It's definitely an A tier to me, but I don't know about A. Like, it's... I don't know. Somewhere around there. Definitely the buffs are really strong. Trick is C tier. This could be C. This could easily be C. I mean, you only get to steal a 2 attack thing, which is kind of eh. Like, it's not the best. But it is a pretty big swing, though. Like, 4 Faeria to kill a creature from your opponent and gain a creature for yourself. Alright. Night. Red control uses all of those red S tier cards. Yeah, red's pretty great. Oh, Triton Diver. Wait, did I put Triton Diver as A? I don't think so. No, Triton Diver is B. Probably a lower B. Lore Thief's also a low. Probably a C, actually, for Lore Thief. I don't think Lore Thief belongs here. Wait, we haven't finished with the A's. Are the rest good? I don't know about this one. Warrior is like... Warrior's pretty good. Living Willow. This thing's maybe lower. This thing I'm not sure about. Nightmare, Demon Wing. Oh, Queen's Guard's an A. I guess so. Monk's a little bit higher. This thing I guess I'm not sure about. Time? Time I think is A, just because you can get the legendary you want. Yeah. Wild Avenger probably doesn't belong here, but I think it's okay. Let's see. Trick is unplayable. That's true. Trick is unplayable against some decks. That probably shoves it down a little bit. Okay, but in A tier, Tiki Totem in Pandora is S. Yeah, Tiki Totem in Pandora I would say is S. It's really strong, but I don't think in ranked it's that good. Trick is C. I can see moving Trick to C. That makes sense. Firestorm is more B. Firestorm's very situational. Firestorm, yeah, like Firestorm's probably another one to consider as well. I think Avenger doesn't belong in A, but I think B is okay. B makes sense. Yeah, Avenger, I don't know, Avenger's good, I think. Like, in a deck that's got self-harm, or if you're against burn, like, its life stat just keeps going up. It's really strong, I think. But maybe a B is fine. What is this list? Like the Avenger, it auto-wins some matchups, yeah. Get my mouth shut about that one since I arrived. I think B is fine for it. Like, it's kind of situational, but every Nat deck is better without it. Maybe. Actually, yeah, it could be true. But I think B is okay. Firestorm is a tech card. Definitely a tech card. Even though good now, still don't think it should be A. Yeah, so what are the ones we're considering? So Frogify I guess is still A. I mean, like, Transform is really a good mechanic. Wasn't sure about this guy. Wasn't sure about this. Wasn't sure about this. Also, Ancient Herald I'm not sure about either, but we'll see. So Firestorm maybe is a B. Yeah, actually, I could agree. B tier makes sense, because this is is really situational. How does the HP on Avenger matter against burn? Yeah, I mean, it matters quite a bit against burn, I think. Transform a 40/40 to 2/2 seems good, yeah. And on 2 forests. I don't think it's exceptional, but I think it's pretty decent. Some Runin's Guidance looks alright. But, like, it's got Taunt, you can dash it. I don't know. I think it's solid, but definitely not A. I agree with it not being A. What about Wandering Monk? I don't really play Rush, but I think this is super strong. I don't know. 3 cost to draw a card. It's 2-1 kind of has to be answered because I can just keep hitting in your face. Orager Monk. Yeah. Oh wait, what did I call it? Did I call it something else? Yeah, Orager Monk. Yeah. Well, we can look at B in a sec, I guess. Because we're kind of had to like put everything there and now fine-tuning it just to get a feel for what A tier is all about, what all the tiers are all about. But I'm looking reasonably solid. Monk is really expensive. Okay, well you play Yellow Rush Lizard, so I would trust your opinion. Because I don't know, I just kind of put this here because I wasn't sure, but 3 cost feels like it could be expensive. Origin Monk C. We'll put it in B for now. Maybe that's okay. What do you think of the Zealous Crusader? Is this A tier? But Monk is definitely not C. It's pretty good. Oh, you ended up cutting it from the list? Oh. 90% of Rush don't even use the Monk. Oh. Interesting. Like, Crusader's pretty powerful, I think. But you think Crusader's B? Okay. Fair enough. So then the last 2 cards I'm kind of debating is like, I don't think Baron is an A tier. I actually don't think he's A tier. I don't know. Like, your opponent also gets a free card from it, so I don't think it's really A. Yeah, same for Thulgar. So Voice of Truth. How about this card? I don't know. Maybe that's B. Voice of Truth. What's a Thulgar? Yes, Baron Thulgar. So like this is situational. I guess it is a little bit situational. Like something has to be damaged on board. I think A is good. Okay. Like I don't know. This is so valuable with your other green cards like Feed and like I don't know, the stuff that deals with the high life. Like it synergizes with Boar even. I don't know. It's pretty good synergy there. Wrangler could be S tier. I have it in A, right? Yeah, Demon Wrangler. I don't know about S. So S is like the audio includes, right? I don't think it's S tier. After that double 3-0, I bet. Nightmare is a little unsure of. A tier is probably fine because hard removal... Yeah, no, like a hard removal is kind of important sometimes. It's really expensive though. I don't always run it. Okay, let's just... Yeah, we'll go a little bit further. Garrodin to me is at least a B. I think Garrodin at B is fine. Firestorm at B makes sense. Monstrosity... B is probably okay. B. Yeah, these are all Bs. Radiance, I think, is B. It's really good, but like you have to rely on your life being at a low stat. You need cards in hand. Rushed him down with an Airbot and Wrangler. Oh god. That's spooky. This Explorer... Yeah, all the explorers I've put up B except for the Rainforest. I don't know, I just think Rainforest Explorer is so good. But the other explorers feel lacking in comparison. Just because of the colors. Like the colors have so much... Like a green-blue is just too strong. So Avenger probably lower of the B scale. Outland Ranger's definitely B, I think. What about Shrine? Oasis. Oasis is sick. Yeah, Oasis is another one that could be possibly A tier. Because in tempo, like the only deck it's played in, it's really strong. 4 cost 5/5. Neutral card. Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm fine with pushing this up. Neutral 5/5. That's pretty insane. Rune and Shrine, I think, I don't know. Like, you only run this in Rush. So if we consider that in Rush, it's pretty overpowered, right? If Wandering Monk is in A, then Oasis should be too. Oh, did we put Monk in A? We did. Yeah, probably Oasis should go there. I think Monk is B. Yeah, Monk was one I was debating with. Like, that's a low A. Because it's pretty bad when it comes down. But it's really easy to trigger its ability. It's got 5 life stat. It's a neutral. So I'm not sure. It's kind of like in between. But I think... I don't know, but this isn't like run in that much stuff besides the Monk Husk. Maybe this is more like high A. I mean high B. I don't know. High B. A, B, not really sure. Like, I don't know. This one's hard. Like, the 5 life stat, I think, is really good. Monk can get buffed from natural Faeria draw. Has 5 HP, 4 cost neutral. Takes a long time to scale, but like you pretty much get the value back after. Like what would I be happy with? Like a 3/5 for 4? That seems like reasonable value. 3/5 stats for 4. That takes 2 draws. Pretty easy to trigger. That takes just 1 turn to scale. I mean, not scale, but to get like reasonable value, I guess. Bloom Sprite A and Archer D. Okay, we'll come back to Archer. I don't remember where I put it. He's not gonna let this go. Yeah, we gotta revisit Archer. I can't actually remember where I placed it. Okay, so B. These make sense. What about Rune and Shrine? Is this A? I mean, like it's like the Soul Pack's better, of course. Soul Pack's of course better, but it's also like this is only in green. I guess it's okay. I don't know. This seems okay. Smile in B seems okay. Windfall, I guess B is okay. This guy, these things were really difficult to rank, but I think B tiers probably make sense for these. You like the Shrine at A and Pact at S? I don't know. What do you guys think of Pact? Like, I don't know that that's like an auto-include. It's really strong. Well, we'll put it at the top at least. These two are like so powerful, but I don't think, yeah. I'm not sure about Pact at S. You do need the card drive. It is borderline. We need like a A+ maybe tier. Yeah. High A for sure. These ones, I guess, make sense. The Tiki's at B, I guess. What about this? Gabrielian Enchant is pretty good, but maybe this is like C. The Gabrielian Enchantress. Pact is outrageous. It's a cheat. Yeah, your enemy can't calculate. That's a very telling thing. But I still don't know about S. I don't know. It's definitely a big debate. Definitely a big debate. Then you pull out soul packs, and what do they do? Yeah. Tiki Caretaker. Wait, which one this called? This one's the Caretaker. Caretaker's not as good as this one for sure. But what's this? Tiki something. Tiki Piper, right. Yeah, Piper's actually pretty decent. Maybe Caretaker's not as good, but it's... Yeah, B is kind of like things that you would run in your deck because they're good. But Tiki Piper's not really run. It's not that good. Caretaker, I mean Piper, sorry. Piper's a lot better. Enchantress is good. Yeah, this one I was debating. Kind of makes sense there, because I mean, like, if you're running an enchant deck, it's really good, actually. Caretaker and Summer. Let's put this to the... I think this is C. Honestly, like, on par with Runin. C makes sense. C makes sense. Piper, I think, is definitely B. I think Piper's pretty decent. Messenger, Yak Attack, Lore Thief are... and Gary are C. I could see. I don't know. I think Gary's still B, but maybe Messenger. Messenger, Yak Attack. Yak Attack makes sense. We got Yak Attack, Messenger, so let's put all these considerations at the bottom. Lore Thief, yeah. I could agree there. These ones are making sense. This guy? Probably B. The Warden, I'm not sure. Somebody mentioned that should be A, but I'm not sure. Protection is not always that useful. I think it's sometimes situational. Wave Crasher is C. Wave Crasher... So Wave Crasher is like 6 cost 6/6, which I think is solid. I don't know. Caretaker and Piper can stay B for me. Okay. I don't know. It's hard. Might come back to it. Messenger, same tier as Scourge Flame. Warden is pretty high B. Yeah. Warden makes sense here, or A. Probably okay. I think Prophet, definitely not A tier to me, because it's so necessary early. This, B makes sense. I think this is like on par with Grizzly, right? So these guys, I'm not sure. Should these be A tier? Possibly. Possibly. Warden suggested A before. Oh. Yeah, that was the consideration to me for Wave Crafter, is that it's such a solid body. 6/6 in this game is pretty good, but we could put it like lower of the scale. 6/6 is really good. But these guys, like, Twin Soul is so powerful. Honestly, that's probably A. Like, these don't match up to like the top tier decks. None of these match up to the top tier decks. But I guess we're just rating individual cards. I'm not sure how to really rate those ones. Soul Eater's... Maybe Soul Eater's A. I don't know. It's really slow to start, though. And Twin Soul. I think they can stay B tier. Yeah. They're all kind of in the same boat, right? I think just, like, the color schemes don't... Like, the color schemes themselves aren't really good on the ladder right now. Meteor and Krog package are kind of C. I found them really good to be really good, though. Where is Meteor? Where did I put Meteor? These are kind of all similar cards. Soul Eater and Scourge Flame A. Soul Eater and Scourge Flame A. I don't like Scourge as much. I don't know. like, to me, Twin Soul is probably the best out of these. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Scourge is so easy to predict. Scourge is OP every deck. Wish they could have one. I don't know. It's only used in burn. Like, literally only in burn. You would never use it in anything else. Meteor out of Discovery. A, otherwise C. These are probably lower end. Put them down at the bottom. Dance is definitely higher up there, of course. Trying to look at a single value here. Yeah. So, like, there's a couple considerations to make. Like, there's single value. Like, we're trying to, I guess, value how good it is to put a card in a deck, which comes from single value, but I guess also kind of comes from the color combinations and the meta and, like, the rest of the cards that you could build with that singular card. Can use it in Egg of Wonders. True. The 9-color deck. It does only fit into Krog, so we go behind index, then it's C. Yeah. The power swing to me is so strong, like blowing up 5 lands. I guess the only thing is, like, your opponent could just step onto your own lands, and it's not as good. But I think it's pretty strong still. I don't know. Like, viably, maybe it's not as strong. What else do we got? The Explorers at B makes sense. Explorers are pretty solid. Would LAB... The blue gem. These things, Derelict Tower is probably worse. Derelict Tower is actually probably C tier. Battler and Devil have some place in other bargain lists. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely do. Devil has some use in places. I think this needs to go down a notch. Derelict Tower. Overgrown Tower is, like, reasonable, I think. Kind of does the same thing as Tiki Totem. Vine Wall C? That's probably true. That's probably fair. Yeah, Vine Wall and C makes sense. This is the Weeping Idol, which I think is pretty good. B tier, to me, makes sense. Red Blue Bargain deck. Play out the Ice Rock, and it's basically game over. But yeah, I actually, you're correct, Lizard. I think this is probably C as well. I don't like Tiki Totem very much. But I feel like if we put this to C, then this also follows it? Or is Overgrown Tower better? Not sure. We'll take a look. This is decent, I guess. Bone Collector's B. Most of the time, just a worse tower. Yeah. It's so expensive. I don't really particularly like it that much. I think C is fine. And yeah, Overgrown Tower can target stuff on board. Yeah, so it's more immediate. Has immediate, like, combat effects. Yeah, fair. I agree. So this will probably stay B, I guess. Shamanic Dance. That's decent. Oakling, I think, is good. Decent. Hellfire. Hellfire is very dependent. Guess this other stuff makes sense. This one maybe is not as good. Nat B. Choking. This thing. Not sure about this one either. Lords feels like a B tier. B tier. Not sure about Divine Guardian. Like, it's 2 cost with Divine. Yeah, B makes sense. Storyteller, I guess. This is definitely B, I guess. Put it somewhere in here. Village Elder. Pretty B material. Maceman. Maceman is still a B to me. I don't know. This is solid B. Diver's definitely a B, I think. I don't think I'd put that lower. So the only ones, yeah, the ones I'm considering, I think Avenger's still B tier to me. Avenger's still B tier. Maybe. Village Elder's C. Worse than Farm Boy? But I mean, like, it's useful in Sack. I don't know. Village Elder. I guess you don't always run this in Sack, because there's better Sack stuff now. Village Elder. Yeah, maybe not B. Actually, you're right. This is probably a definite C. These ones, I guess this, like Runan's Messenger has 5 life, 5 cost jump. It's pretty solid. Elder has this place in B, you think? It's run in bargain. Alright. We'll keep it back in B, I guess. Where'd it go? Oh no. Village Elder. Okay. Yes. Fair enough. Yak Attack A. I don't think Yak Attack's A. I think B, though. I think Lizard said to put it to C, but I think B is fine. But yeah, it's super inefficient Faeria-wise. But like with Mother and Yak decks, it's decent. It's 9 cost, so there's that S of Yak thing. Yeah, cost-wise, it's pretty awful. Lore Thief, I'm not even sure if that's B. I think Wave Crasher's good. Solid stat line. Like, as a low B, makes sense. Well, outside of Yak, it's horrible. like if it has no synergy, it's horrible. But I think we can assume that there's some synergy there. It's like a low B. Maybe it is C. I don't know. This guy... 5/5? I guess? I don't know, 5/5 for 5. The upside's hardly relevant. I think this is on the same tier as like the War Yak, right? Sort of. It's a little bit better. Maybe this is C? 5/5 for 5 is pretty solid though. I don't know. Probably C. C makes sense. Alright, how much we got more? Think we're happy with B. I'm happy with B. I don't know. If you're only doing base set, Yak Attack is certainly C. Well, like I'm doing base set, but I want this to be kind of in conjunction with the DLC. Like this tier list should be geared towards the meta, and the meta includes all of the DLC. Waryak would be decent, but his gift 7/7. Oh yeah, I guess it's better than the Waryak then. Oh yeah, that's true. A little bit better, but I think it's still like not that great. C tier. C tier is like playable cards, but kind of like these are like if you want to throw them in, sure. So what do you guys think of Ice Rock Behemoth? I think C is a fine spot for it. It's got no mobility attached to it, and red-blue is awful colors. Especially 3 blue, 3 red. Like, there's not much support for it. Ice Rock is too slow for B. Yeah. You think Ice Rock is B? It's definitely like up there, but I don't know. It does, like, it demands an answer. But I mean, you can so easily just avoid it. Like, well, not so easily, but like you could just go to the opposite side, buy time until you find an answer to it. Oh, you've recently played with success? Deserves a B? I suppose I haven't really played around with it. All right, we'll grant it a B position. It'll be in a low B. Runin, I think, is definitely C. I don't know. What do you think of Runin, actually? Because this is kind of a similar thing to Ice Rock, actually. Like, it's expensive to make work, but if you get it to work, if it gets going early, it's a real nuisance to deal with. I think you just have to play smart with this card. Like, you have to make sure that it's in a spot where it's gonna be an actual threat, where your opponent can't just ignore it. Like, I think you have to be smart with it, but I think it can be okay. Like, maybe that's B tier. I think it's still cool. What's this? Oh, the Ice Rock list. Okay. I mean, I'm convinced. Ice Rock is probably a reasonable B. What do you think of Runin? Like, if Runin is in B, maybe it's okay. Without transform, it's pretty difficult, I guess. I don't know. That list absolutely slaps. Runin is C. Yeah. Runin's hard. It's very situational. I don't know. I guess we'll keep it there for now. Taram's kind of like up there, maybe. These make sense, I guess. Makes sense. Tail. The structures, I guess, can get some value. Triton Banquet, Triton Chef. I don't know. These guys seem a bit better than the D cards. Like, the D cards are absolute garbage, right? D cards are like absolute garbage, but maybe you could get something to work out of them. Sturdy needs to be up. I think I'd agree with that. Sturdy could be better. Like, Sturdy is better than Rubyfish for sure. Probably B is fine. I mean, worst case, like, it sits near your face if it can't advance and just collects one Faeria a turn. Shiggy. Who's Shiggy? This thing? No, wait. Oh, Sturdy Shell. Yeah, I agree. B makes sense. I wonder if I can, like, save this as a link and people can, like, view it. It's the German name for Blastoise. Oh, okay. Shiggy. Let's see. Other stuff. Are the structures even... Well, okay. Yeah, D is, like, garbage tier. So probably C is fine for those. Spellwhirl, yeah. Oh, for Squirtle. This thing, yeah, like these can work reasonably, but not that great. Chieftain, healer's specific, but it is pretty solid stats for what it does if you need the health. Ursus, yeah. So I guess what we're looking for is anything like good or anything like not so good. Like the past excuse me. Yeah, I think I put War Beast at B before because I think it's solid stats. But like, is this on par with the past? I don't think so though. Like, I don't know. Beast on B makes sense. Do you think Pest goes up? Because Pest is okay. Like, without Angry, it's only a 4-2, which kind of sucks, but I guess. Liz runs Pest over Beast and Angry. Yeah, I guess you'd only run this in Angry, so that would be the consideration. Really easy to trigger. What do you think, Lizard? You're the one who runs this. What do you think? Oh, you run both? Like, is this fine as B? Maybe? Maybe. Shedim Pest. I guess it's better than all this stuff, really. Yeah, I mean, you don't run it in anything other than Angry, but I think it's still fine to make that consideration. I don't know. B, C, but you don't really run the Yak in anything else either. Oh, it goes in red control. Really? The stats are solid, I guess. Alright, that's fair. That's fair. What about Gift of Steel? That's like a high C. Maybe that's B? Like, it's still usable. It's just not as good anymore. This is probably higher up there somewhere. Yak makes sense. Firebomb. Firebomb's actually kind of solid sometimes, but it's pretty expensive. I don't know. Gift of Steel, so bad. Actually, that's true. It's only good because nobody thinks you run it. Oh, you won Seasonal Cup with Warbeast. Alright then. Yeah, okay. What about Firebomb? I think that's still C tier. Like, it's very niche, but can be used. You think Caretaker's B? Maybe. I guess, yeah. It's a little bit more useful than this stuff. Maybe it's like a low B. A little bit more useful, though. Crumbling Golems, eh. The plant can get some use. Spitter, I guess, is okay. These aren't as good of things. This is like, I don't know, maybe higher up. Doomgate makes sense at C, I think. Charger, C. You think Farm Boy is B? Doomgate could be higher. Is Farm Boy B? I guess. Like, it's good in like Krog stuff. Singer could potentially be higher. But I don't know. It's a little bit more useful than the stuff in C tier here, I guess. Deathwish Ghoul is A. This thing? I think it could be B easily. But you think A? I mean, it's essentially a 1-cost 3/1, I guess. I don't know. Seven, 6, stupid card. This thing? This thing's reasonable in Rush. What else we got? Aviary I wasn't sure about. Shaytan Assassin makes sense here. This one might be better. Shara's probably C tier. Oh, and then maybe Farm Boy at B could be a thing. I think these make sense. Okay, we've been going almost 4 hours. Let's let's finish up soon. It slaps in the yellow mirror. This one? I think Farm Boy B, I guess, is okay. Firebomb C makes sense. Yeah, so the only like questionable ones, I guess, are like Crumbling Golem could possibly move up. Maybe this. I don't think Singer's that. I don't know. 3 cost 2/4. It's pretty solid. I guess in red control was the thing, but the Ghoul. Yeah, I don't have much experience with that. I think I'm happy keeping it in B, but put it up there somewhere. So what do you guys think of Crumbling Golem? C, I don't know. I don't think this is run in Red Rush though. Yeah, C is probably fine. C is fine. So I think that's probably it. You think Spellwhirl's a bit higher? Where's Spellwhirl? Oh, it's in C. Gives you 2 free cards. Yeah, Golem's fine. Spellwhirl. I don't play with this card that much, I guess. The randomness is what kind of throws me off, but I guess a lot of blue stuff is pretty decent. It's also an event. Maybe B is okay. Synergizes with events. It's probably better than this stuff here. Yeah. Easy B tier. Alright, we'll put it up there. So I think that's it. I mean, I think everything else is pretty solid. Like D tier stuff, all this stuff is pretty garbage. You guys still say that like Primaval Colossus is a bit better, but I don't know. Faeria tree. Whirlwind's really solid card generation. Put Flame Cannon in C. Oh, this thing? Flamethrower? Maybe. I mean, it demands an answer. It's pretty cheap. Like 3 cost. Maybe. Yeah, I guess D is like absolute garbage. Well, not absolute. Oh yeah, where's the yellow archer? I completely skipped by him again. Oh, yeah, he's in D. Why is he in D? So, you think yellow archer's B? Definitely not a D card. I think it's better than that. It's only 2 cost, so it's pretty solid. Trades evenly with 2 damage stuff, I guess. You think B? Alright. I'll agree there. I'll throw that up into B. Archer B makes sense. El Pandaco's happy. Yeah, that's fair. Alright, well, I think that's good enough. I don't think too much else needs to be changed. I know you guys aren't like super happy with the Colossus, but Scavenger B. The yellow Scavenger. Like, Scavenger's not that good though, is it? 4-3? I guess, so it's a 2-cost 4-3, right? Yeah, it's pretty solid. I don't know. I think Spell Wordle's OP. Cauldron C? I guess, yeah, I put that in D, right? Cauldron's reasonable. But I don't know, like, Cauldron is 2 costs. I guess it trades 2 for 2. Like, C cards aren't cards that you probably will always play, but Cauldron C, I guess, makes sense. I don't know. It's never played, but there's just because there's better options. We will never stop complaining. 4-3. Can summon next to friendly creatures. Oh, that guy? I don't know if it's OP. Like, I think it's still C tier to me. Oh yeah, Doomgate could probably be B tier, right? Maybe. Because, I don't know, Doomgate's really cheap. Kind of demands that your opponent has an eventual answer to it. Yeah, compared to other cards, I agree. Compared to other cards, you'd run other cards, but I guess, like, just considering it on its own, it's not awful. While we were talking, the meta already changes in our minds. Yeah, the meta kind of changes from time to time too. Even without expansions, like sometimes people just come up with new decks. They're running other decks, but... Alright, I think we're good. Like, I mean, some stuff could be changed around maybe, and you might have your own opinions about things, but I think I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. Yeah, I think it's reasonable. Alright, hopefully I can, like... What happens if I zoom out? Is this, like, unseeable? I mean, you can zoom in. We'll thumbnail that. Yeah, that's a bit much. Oh, I can save download. Okay. Save. What else do we got? Alright. Alright, well, thanks for watching. That took 4 hours. But I think that this is reasonable. If you wanna... I don't know if you can, like, use my template. I don't know if anyone wants to embark on making their own tier list, but it was pretty easy to make. I just, like, downloaded the images from Faeria's website, or their Google Drive. Splendid. So hopefully, I don't know. I don't know if this will, like, maybe this helps new players as well. The only, like, downside is that you can't see the cards' names. But, you know, I've been talking about them for 4 hours if you care to watch. Scourge Flame B, yes. I still think he's B tier. I don't know. I know a lot of burn players will disagree. He's not a slapper. Yeah. I just think he's so predictable. Like, whenever you're building up to 6 lands, it's so predictable. Now to spend the whole next year refining. I really hope that this saves the tier list. And, like, is this save? Okay. Okay. Title of tier list. Faeria base set. Tier list. I'm gonna download the image as well, I guess. Save. I assume that you can come back and edit this later. Let's see what happens. It's a good start for the Fortune Hunter enthusiasts. Yes. Alright, I guess... yeah, I guess that's it. I want to like see if I can use the link. If people can like use the link. I had to make a Twitter account for this. Like I have Twitter now, but like I'm not gonna be posting to it at all. Oh, you don't play Burn? Okay, yeah. Just what Saturn thinks. Yes, Saturn will have some disagreements. I know for sure. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'll put this picture somewhere, maybe on Faeria, I guess. I'll put it on my Discord. I'll put it on the Faeria Discord. All right. People thought Rakoans were good. Rakoans are still good, I think. Oh, send it over to Cat Maz. Yeah, maybe I'll send it to him. I think he's on holidays at the moment, but yeah, we'll send it to him. Okay, thanks for watching. I need to go eat and stuff. And thanks for helping me with this too. I liked hearing people's opinions. And if you're watching this on YouTube, post your opinions in the comments. I'd love to hear what your own opinions are. Alright. See you guys.